With several weeks left before the drivers of the SNB Cup Series by Appalachian Hauler Hunters prepare for a quest to the playoffs, tonight is a fun night. We welcome you to the virtual Nashville Super Speedway, located just outside of the Music City in Lebanon, Tennessee. And it is All-Star Night for the SNB Cup Series, live on LSRTV. Our broadcast coverage presented by Network, and we welcome you to the SNB All-Star Race. Good evening. Back in from Indiana in the Redbud 400. I'm Wesley Outland. Joined alongside is Samuel Dyer. He's in California. Charles Wooten is in the LSRTV production truck deep in the heart of Texas. All-Star Night. It's going to be a fun night, I believe. We got the Open coming up first. But for these drivers, it's time to lay it all on the line, because there's no points at all out.
Yeah, points are not going to be an option here tonight. It's all about having some glory and money on the line for these drivers. But for the open race, it's making sure you're inside of the top four to make sure you move on to the next round. There is also a drivers voted in aspect that will be bringing in one of those drivers that aren't in the top four to be making their way forward. But here tonight, for the open race, looks like we've got 7 drivers. So we might be seeing 2 drivers not able to race for money.
Let's take a look at the race 411 tonight in the All-Star race. Well, first off, this is the Open. The race Open. 30-minute practice session there will be qualifying for 2 laps. Will set the stage for the lineup of a 45-lap race. Now, here's the deal. There is a 2-stage event for the Open. The first stage, caution laps do not count, will be 30 laps. The top 2 will transfer in from that race. Then we will turn around and we will run a 15-lap stage. That final stage will take in another 2 drivers. And once again, those drivers battling will advance to the event. Top 4 drivers advance to the All-Star race. The winner of the driver vote is time permitting. And again, not like in previous races, Samuel, where you would see, and I want to reiterate on that because I kind of made a fib here. It's not stage 1, top 2 transfer. It is stage 1, 30 laps, reset. The top 4 cars across the finish line, they are going to the All-Star race.
Yeah, hey, it's all about those first 30 laps. These drivers getting a sense of how this track's going to drive. You've had practice here for over an hour, and also throughout the week, the drivers have had practice to try to get used to this course because they're racing even more different than usual. It's not just an all-star race. They're racing in the Legacy Cup cars. These are the 2013 Cup cars, the Gen 5s that they're going to be using here, and a lot of drivers, they have been loving this car. It's a lot of slipping and sliding and patience for them trying to get back onto the throttle because there's a lot of horsepower in these things and they just want to get themselves spun around.
So right now the quest is obviously make it in to stage number 2, be the top 4 at the checkered flag, and advance yourself in to the All-Star race. By the way, for the All-Star Open, caution laps do not count. The 2013 Cup cars, as Samuel reiterated on, there is the pit rules, 2 total sets of tires, 3 total plus the 4 that are on the car at the start. So then there is a fuel window between 37 to 40 laps. That is all going on during the All-Star race. But right now, for I'm thinking here, Samuel, this will be a we will interview the top 4 and advance the driver vote winner. There is a driver vote, total of 5 drivers that will be coming from the Open, 4 drivers that advance from stage 2, and then the driver fan vote as well. So 5 drivers will join the likes of other guys that we will talk about later tonight, how their eligibility made them in the 2021 SNB Cup All-Star Series race, presented by the Blitz Racing Network.
Yeah, and tonight, talking about money, there's quite a large pot coming in for the driver that's going to win the All-Star race, $165 on the line, which, talking to some of the drivers, they're excited about this. This is about half of what the drivers are going to be earning for a championship. If you win the championship, you get that much. But here tonight, one race, a lot of money on the line as practice has come to a close. And these drivers so far, top of the board, Evan Coleman, one of the favorites coming in. I was talking to some of the drivers that were going to be racing in this open race, and drivers were willing and saying, hey, there's no points on the line. I might have to move a driver here or there if it means I get to make it into the All-Star race.
Hey, by the way, let's introduce a couple of All-Stars that are already ready to go here tonight for the 2021 SNB Cup Series All-Star Race. In the booth for the Open, a little driver commentary, if you will. Of course, a 6-time winner on the series, the inaugural champ, originally from Virginia, now from Winston-Salem, North Carolina. The 94 of Joshua Altus joins us. And in addition to that, a driver that is locked in to tonight's race as well is Mr. Rob Sherwood. And Rob Sherwood, a 2-time winner on the series. Guys, welcome aboard. How you feeling tonight?
Yeah, this is awesome, man. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, glad to be here, fellas.
All-Star race. What's the vibe knowing you're not having to go through this crazy hula up here next?
Well, I know I probably speak for Josh as well. It's nice to be able to sit here and enjoy this and watch these guys battle it out, because we've got some great drivers out here, as well as guys that are waiting to put on a show a little bit later.
Yeah, I definitely want to echo those remarks by Rob. And I think it's cool, too. Some of these guys, they might be kind of middle pat drivers, but this is kind of their show, so to say. You kind of remove some guys who are up front all the time. So it'll be fun to watch some of these guys battle it out.
Yeah, I mean, Josh, just want to give credit. You talked about, you posted it. Today is the 1-year anniversary of the SNB Cup Series becoming a thing in your 3rd season here today. Man, it's got to be feeling an honor to be racing and having a league last as long as it has, and also touch on these cars that these guys are going to be running here tonight.
Oh, for sure, Sam. It was funny. I just so happened to, I thought we were getting close to when we started this deal, and I happened to just go look on my Instagram, and I think it was yesterday I looked, and it was today exactly 1 year ago. We ran our first SNB Cup Series race at Daytona in season 1, and I'll hand it over to Rob. Rob and I have become such great friends. We kind of met through a mutual friend with Matthew Williams, and Rob is one of my best friends now, and it's just so cool how racing brings people together, even in the virtual world. So Rob and I have really put a lot of work into this league, and it's just so cool to see how much it's grown.
Looking at Brockton Packer now, the number 24 machine making his way through the trial here at the Nashville Super Speedway. So was this All-Star race created in celebration, obviously, of the 1-year anniversary of the SNB Cup Series, or was this something you've wanted to have on the cards of a schedule for a couple of seasons now?
To be honest, this was completely by accident. I honestly did not know about it until Josh brought it up last night, and so it felt. And honestly, this year, but that kind of goes to show this year has just absolutely flown by. It's crazy to think we're in our 3rd season, but this is. This racetrack is obviously brand new to iRacing. The Cup Series just went back there this year. So yes, we really wanted to do something different for the All-Star race. So honestly, I don't think we could have planned it any better. So, it worked out perfectly.
Yeah, by the way, speaking of the Nashville Super Speedway, a couple of weeks ago, they were there at the Nashville event with the Ally 400. Kyle Larson picked up the win. Hendrick Motorsports big in the news. They announced today that Kyle Larson will stay with Hendrick Motorsports in the number 5 NASCAR Cup Series machine until at least the end of the 2023 NASCAR season. And of course, Kyle Larson up the win here for this race as the drivers are getting ready to get gridded. Samuel, it's almost go time. 45 laps, 30 laps stayed 1, 15 laps working 4. The driver vote, 5 drivers in the All-Star race. And it's time to take a look at the All-Star Open starting lineup presented by Team 126 Racing. On the pole, Joseph Madigan of the 76 machine to the outside. Evan Coleman, car number 51, a former winner on the Adrenaline iRacing League. He will make up row number 1. Row 2. Yeah, go ahead. We'll go row by row tonight. It's All-Star night.
I wasn't sure how you were going to go with this one. It's row 2, going to be that of Eric Stamp and Logan Breakey. Both drivers looking poised and good to be making it to the next round, but they got to be careful as there are none of the caution laps are going to count. So if you get yourself in trouble, you only got one fast repair for some of these drivers.
Row number 3, we'll find Brockton Packard of the number 24 machine. To the outside, Zach Peterson in car number 96. That's row 3 in the back. We'll find Chris Smith in the 55. He will start shotgun on the field. There's the lineup. A word from Appalachian Holler Hunters, and we go green in the All-Star Open when we return on LSRTV.
Look how wide that deer is.
Oh my God. He's down. Hold him up first, huh? Can you hold him up? Son, what do you think about that? Give me some skin, buddy. Excited? After me.
Field is on the back straightaway here at the Nashville Super Speedway. Welcome back to coverage of the SNB Cup Series All-Star Open presented by the Blitz Racing Network. We have Rob Sherwood, Joshua Altus, drivers on the series, as well as Samuel Dyer. I'm Wesley Outland, Charles Wooten in production, and we are getting ready to come to the green flag here in the first stage. We hyped it up 30 laps. Caution laps do not count. You advance into the second stage. Then we're taking 4 drivers, and that will be 15 laps in this 45-lap All-Star Open. Samuel, what do you think we're going to see, buddy? They're coming to the green flag.
Oh, it's going to be very scrappy in the final 15 laps, but here we'll see if the drivers can make it through these first couple of corners.
7 to the green. We're taking 4 and underway at Nashville on the concrete. Oh, there's the caution. So much for kicking the concrete. We've got a calamity off of the second turn. It looks like Peterson and who else am I missing there? Pulse Popper,
Papa Smith.
Yeah, Papa Smith there. It's Chris Smith's dad.
Caleb Smith's dad.
Caleb Smith's dad. I'm sorry, I was thinking Chris Smith. My bad.
Close enough.
Yeah. Well, here we go, guys. What do you think? Just a little. Oh, wow. Oh, he might have got a little too excited there.
Yeah, I mean, they're driving a completely different car here tonight than what they've been usually running. These are the 2013 machines, and, you know, Josh, you can probably touch on it a little bit more, but these cars, a completely different animal than what we've been seeing all season long.
Yeah, for sure. You know, this is something we did last year, and kind of unintentionally. I remember last year the All-Star race kind of came out of nothing because we were planning on running our 600 race at Charlotte, and the iRacing servers had some issues with, I think the current car had an update or something that we had been running, and we said, well, why don't we just, you know, make it an all-star race and do the older cars, because those were a generic car that everyone had. So we tried it at Charlotte, and it was a whole lot of fun. I mean, these cars are difficult to drive. They're definitely higher horsepower, lower downforce, and it's easy to spin the rear tires when you're getting back in the gas. So it's definitely going to be a challenge compared to, you know, kind of what we're used to every week.
Hey, Rob, how did Charles Wooten get that off?
Wait, how did Charles get what off? What? Sorry, you broke up in the mic there. I apologize.
I just got an alert message that said, hey, ask Rob why I got the night off. So, yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, he is here, so I don't know if that message was from last night. We were starting to worry if we were actually going to get Charles to show up. It may have just been Wesley and Sam showing up and just nobody broadcasting this thing. So
we could have at least done a CRN audio cast, like a radio call, if you needed that. But yeah, but oh. Okay, Rob tried to give you the nod off last night. By the way, guys, Rob and Joshua, anytime you hear that voice in the background, we call him him. Hey, that's our. Is that
Mr. Him?
That's him. That is him right
That's
there.
him.
So we're under caution after a two-car accident there. Looks like Chris Smith and Zachary Peterson are able to continue, and they are counting no caution laps. Okay, caution laps do not count. Meaning green flag runs only, meaning they will race to the checkered flag multiple times to get a winner.
Hey, Wesley, I wanted to say, with only 7 cars in here, I thought we were going to have closer to 10 or 13 as that was the eligibility. But since there's only 7 cars, why don't we all go around and pick who we think is going to win?
The first one that crosses the finish line, as my daddy always says. You know what?
That's a good pick.
I'm going to go with Evan Coleman.
You stole my pick.
I think you stole everyone's pick.
Actually, I'm going to have to disagree. Evan is my boy. We play a lot of Call of Duty together. But I tell you what, Logan Brakey has been on a hot streak.
But remember, at the end of the day, bragging rights, obviously. And Wes, I'll let you go ahead and call the restart here.
Well, we're going to come back to the green flag, so here they come. Back to the Geico restart zone. Out of turn 4 through the tribal, green flag in the air. And let's try this again. Second time, kicking the concrete at Nashville. There you go, guys. We're 1 lap. Correction, that's fake news. We're 3 laps in. Second attempt to the restart, and it is good. And Madigan is out in front. Stamp is second. My pick. What in the world? Get up on there, Coleman. He's in third.
Evan Coleman in third. Got to give credit. These schemes that the drivers are running, all made by Evan Coleman. So he's hoping that he can take that 51 to the All-Star race, as, again, 5 of the 7 will be moving on to the actual race. Our top 4 automatically move on, and then we get to see who gets voted into the next race. A side-by-side action for who's going to be in that 4th place position.
Well, Rob, what do you think, man? I mean, how do you settle yourselves in here at Nashville? And was this the perfect track to have for the All-Star race, do you think?
Based off that first corner, I don't know if it was the perfect track, but real quick, kind of to Sam's point, I do want to acknowledge the paint schemes that Evan came up with. Honestly, I know we've only got 7 cars in this first race, but hey, all 7 of them have the paint scheme on, so I'm impressed that they all coordinated that well.
Yeah, I got to give them props, mad props. They got it going on there as they work their way off that corner. Madigan leads the way. This is stage 1. Remember, first stage, 35 laps. Then they throw the yellow flagger laps. They come back, and then they run a 15-lap shootout. And I know the scoring ticker says lap 5 of 45, so basically they're going to go line on lap 30, take the caution, and they'll reset and go again, a 45-lap total distance of this race. And right now, Madigan is out in front. We watching all of this other excitement going on in the back as there's a shot of the leader. He is comfortable, Samuel, in that number 1 position. Stamp and Coleman having a nice little battle for second as that goes into 3.
Yeah, I mean, looking at Madigan, he's really trying to pull away, run as fast as he possibly can, but this could be a backfiring move, running this fast, as tire wear is going to be one of the primary things to watch out here tonight. We're on the concrete. Tire wear is always going to be so much worse on concrete for these drivers, as you see Evan Coleman trying to get on the back bumper a stamp, and Evan Coleman was testing yesterday different ways to use his front bumper to get someone a little bit sideways, out of shape. We'll see if he has to use it here during the open race, or if he can move on to the All-Star race, if he can possibly utilize that bumper in a way for him to advance or get a win.
What do you think, Josh? Everything pretty clean right now for the time being?
Yeah, Wesley, I got my eye on this fourth place battle right here. Zach Peterson, one of our MP Motorsports teammates, currently holding that last transfer spot in P4 right now. That battle is starting to heat up. You got Brakey behind him in fifth, as well as Broughton Packard in sixth. I know Brakey and Packard are some of the fan favorites, so I think it's going to be really interesting to see if one of those two or both of them can transfer in, because that could potentially open up that fan vote.
All we need now is a shot at $1 million.
$165 will do, I guess.
There you go. Well, there is some money on the line for sure. Top 5 are transferring in. 4 from the finish of this open race, and then the fan vote, or the driver vote, actually. So we put this in the driver's hands now, not the fans, right? So what driver? I figure they all would be fighting for one of that one.
Yeah, I'll let Rob kind of explain how we did the voting. It was pretty unique, but I think it's cool how we did it.
Yeah, so basically what we did was we asked each driver to go through and rank their driver vote 1 through 3. So whoever they put as their first driver would get 3 points towards the driver's total. Whoever was in second would get 2, and whoever was in third would get 1. And that way, when we were able to go back and tally up all the votes, it kind of gave people more of a say rather than just one person that they could choose, just because we've got guys in here. Fortunately, we've got a lot of guys that get along. And so I know it was really tough on some guys. I had a hard time myself choosing. So it gave me a chance, as well as some other guys, to say, you know what, I don't feel like I'm, giving a guy a short end of the stick that, I really like, and I'd like to see him in there. But, there are certain guys that you felt like may have deserved to be there more than another.
Yeah, and Rob, maybe you could touch on this more as well. We see these guys racing in the open race, but for the drivers that made the All-Star race, how were they eligible to be making it automatically in?
So basically, the way we did it was similar to the way both shootouts and All-Star races in the past have been declared. So we're currently in our third season. So what we did was we went back and looked through all 3 years, and we found every pole winner and race winner, as well as champion over the course of those 3 years. So by just the championship alone, obviously my friend Josh here in the booth was eligible, as he was our season 1 champion, as well as Braxton DeWeese was our season 2 champion. So that came out with a list of 16 drivers that came to be eligible, and then the only other requirement that we added was that they had to drive one race in season 3, so they had to be a current participant of the league.
There you go. That sounds fair.
Guys, I'm watching the 51 of Evan Coleman. He's starting to heat up the 76 for the lead here.
This is for the lead. There's my pick. And you know what? I really don't care if he wins or not. Just let it be in the top 4.
Yeah, Evan also, we actually went to him and asked him to help design a set for this track. So he honestly should have a little bit of an advantage over the rest of the guys, even if he can transfer into the race tonight over those guys as well. Because these older cars, iRacing did not have a current setup for Nashville Superspeedway for these cars.
Yeah, I was watching over also my brother Matt, who's made the All-Star race. Him and Evan were working on this setup for, I think they said, over 2.5 hours, just trying to tune it so it would actually go right. And when it was during the daytime, the drivers felt like, for that of Evan and Matt, they felt like the car was balanced. But once the lights went down, this car got a little bit slicker, a little bit looser, and a lot more of a handful for them to hold on to. So for the All-Star race, it's going to be a fun one. And also, the later this race goes on, these drivers are just going to get more and more of a handful going forward.
Of course, this is round number 10 of the season, but this is the All-Star race. So, shake out the sugar tree, and you do not have to worry about any type. If you have bad luck tonight, it really doesn't matter. Because
here he goes, guys.
Here we go. Coleman looking for the lead.
Guys, I'm interested to see how this goes. If you're Madigan, how hard do you fight here? You're already in the top 4 transfer spot. You've got quite a bit of a gap back to 4th place. Do you just kind of let him go and just fall in line, settle in?
I mean, the real thing for Madigan that I've seen is that for those first 15 laps, he was the car that was out front, showing that you can push the car extremely hard late in the race if you want to, for that final stage of the open race, and you can bring out a pretty big lead if another driver is holding back. But Coleman, he's going for the long game, trying to keep that track position, but here comes Madigan getting loose, and has to hold on.
Madigan, little sideways there off the bottom of 2. Coming down the back straightaway. What a save. And now Coleman back to the point for the 51, the leader. By the way, we're halfway coming up here.
Madigan came over the radio saying he locked up the brakes. That's what got him so sideways, but still in second. But here comes out of Eric Stamp, trying to linger back. He's running about 2/10 off of what our leader is running, but maybe a second place finish could be in his hands. And still looking back at that 4th place battle, Peterson, Brakey still right on top of one another, running very similar lap times, just a 10th of what of Evan Coleman's running.
This is, and I was saying, we're on lap 19 of 45. Now, we were just after halfway of stage 1. Stage 1, 30 laps, obviously 15 laps halfway. But obviously, this is a 45-lap total distance race. So on lap number 23, we will officially be halfway through the 45-lap race. But again, this race broken down into 2 stages. Nobody, and Rob and Josh, basically Rob, where did the decision come of nobody transferring in from stage 1?
To be honest with you, we wanted to reward guys that could go out here and prove that they could be up front all night. You could possibly go the route of whoever wins the first stage goes ahead and transfers, but we honestly decided that we felt like it would be more of a reward to just keep the top 4 that are able to play the strategy game and stay up front, and to keep those guys and reward them at the end of the night.
There you go. Well, nonetheless, we're working lap number 21, 45. Coleman leads. Madigan is second. Stamp Peterson, after his problems on the original start, is into the top 5 and 4th. Logan Brakey, 5th. Good run for him. Looking good. Right now, the transfer is Peterson. Josh, after all the bad luck he had, Samuel, he now sits in the number 4 position.
Yeah, I'm keeping an eye on this battle between Peterson and Brakey. You know, this is the final transfer spot at the moment. You did mention we will get that comp caution here in about 8 laps to reset. So I think someone who is definitely looking for that comp caution is the 76 of Madigan. It looks like he may have burned his stuff up a little bit, and I know that lawn slide probably didn't help his tires, but he seems to have settled down in second. Might fall back to 3rd here, but it's going to be interesting between Peterson and Brakey. See how aggressive those guys are going to get.
Yeah, I kind of seen a tale of 2 stories watching this battle for 4th place. You've got Madigan willing to try to run a little bit higher as Brakey's trying to run shallow to try to get himself a better spot into the entry corners through 1 and 2. Both drivers battling strong. Also for 2nd place, Stamp, he's trying to make the pass as Madigan holding strong and doing his best to stay on the high side and get the best run he can, but Stamp right there on the inside, about to make contact if they aren't careful.
28 of 45. 24-45, just after halfway here. And there goes Peterson trying to go around the pole car of Madigan. They're side by side for that position. Door to door like a cat's whisker off the corner as they work their way off of 4. Little sideways there, a little wiggle by the 69 of Stamp. Opens up the door for Madigan. Madigan powering back. Stamp on the inside. Best battle on the racetrack, Joshua, as they work turn 1 and 2.
Yeah, and if I'm Madigan here, I think like Sam mentioned earlier, you know, how important is it to stay in front right now? I mean, you're still in that transfer position. He's getting loose again here. I think at this point, you know, go ahead and just settle in, try to cool your tires off a little bit. You got the comp yellow in about 5 laps, so don't do anything crazy. A Stamp goes sideways off of 4.
Ooh, out of control, but able to stay steady. He's got to be careful for that of Eric Stamp, as he's now about to fall into the clutches of that of Peterson and Brakey. But just the drivers talked about it under practice, as it just seemed like the drivers felt like the car could be snug at times, then randomly snap on you. And that's exactly what we saw there from Stamp.
Yeah, we certainly did, man.
Yeah, I was watching that battle for 4th place. it really, Madigan and Stamp running side by side for that period of time really allowed those guys to reel them in. So I know Madigan's got to be looking forward, and apparently Eric Stamp as well. They've got to be looking forward to that comp caution to get some fresh good years on that.
Rob, let me ask you from a driver perspective, how much are you taking notes right now for this feature that we're about to run?
Quite a bit, honestly. This is really the first action I've gotten to see in a racing environment in these cars. So this is really eye-opening to see, which line works, which line's going to have the drive off, where you can and can't run in traffic, things of that nature.
Any moment, that yellow flag will be displayed, signifying the end of, in less than now, 4 laps to go here. We're working lap 19 to go overall in this race, but there's still a lot of racing left to go. As again, this race breaking down into 2 stages, 30 laps in race number 1, 15 laps in race number 2, about to come to the end of stage 1. That's when the mandatory caution flag will be given. Nobody awarding stage points, nobody advancing to the all-star race. From that, we rack them, restack them. Guys, did we think about an invert?
We did think about it a little bit, but I think like Rob said, we really wanted to reward the guys who are going to put themselves in position to run up front. I believe they should be coming to the caution right here.
This coming lap, when they come across the line, I believe is when they're going to do the comp caution.
So basically, they're going to run at least 29 laps before we do see the yellow flag come out. So it'll be lap 30, and that will be the end of the first stage.
Correct.
They're on lap 29 right now. So next time around should be the caution flag once everybody passes the scoring loop. And of course, stage 1 will go to, it looks like Evan Coleman, my pick. No inverts.
Oh, in the wall.
No! Crashes. Coleman crashes.
No, that was
crashes.
actually Eric Stamp. That was Stamp. Stamp making contact with that of Madigan, and hard contact for themselves.
Oh my goodness.
No.
Guys, you would think they're coming to the line for the transfer spot. This is just the comp yellow.
That was Eric Stamp, Madigan fighting for position. As Evan Coleman does win, well, it doesn't win the first stage, but he at least has the stage 1 at the yellow flag. Let's take a look at this on the replay. The Pulse Poppers fishing lure instant replay. I don't know if you would call this as a caution at the end of stage 1 or caution because of Stamp and Madigan. Watch this.
Yeah, this is going to be the battle for second place, as Evan Coleman is pretty far away from one another. So they're going to be coming out of turn number 4 on that, coming to the closing of this lap. But
This
it's
is
going to
the
be
last
Madigan and Stamp. They're going to be running hard, but it's coming out of turn 4 where the drivers trying to get the best position possible. And Stamp, he made a slip up about 5 laps before this. He finally caught up to Madigan, and this is just that feeling, that sensation of I could gain a position here that's going to be costly for both drivers. As they come out of turn number 4, you're going to see that of Madigan up into the wall, coming back down. Stamp gets loose, and contact made for those drivers as they are coming across the line.
Guys,
But
it almost
Rob-
looked like it was 2 separate incidents.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Literally, it looked like cautions broke out at different times, and it looked like he lost control, and then Madigan had nowhere to go, and then Stamp had nowhere to go. Under yellow flag, stage 1 done. The wild one, the money stage, the transfer into the all-star race. When we return, LSRTV coverage of the SNB Cup Series All-Star Race presented by the Blitz Racing Network.
Every customer, every single time, needs to get our very best. From moment 1, my goal managing a team here in the dealership is to make sure that that customer's experience is the very best that they've ever had. We expect and demand total transparency. There should never be a time in that transaction where the customer is wondering or not quite sure of what they're buying or what they're paying or those sorts of things. And having that transparency and doing things the right way is super important.
All right, we're about to re-rack them and restack them here. Wesley out Copeland, Samuel Dyer, Joshua Altus, Rob Sherwood. 4 men ready here in the booth to bring you the action of what is the final 15-lap shootout. Who advances to the SNB Cup Series All-Star, to the All-Star race? And well, I'll start with you, Rob. What's your first take of the race so far? First stage as we get ready for the final one.
Honestly, I'm very impressed after the first corner that we had. You saw Chris Smith and Zach Peterson get together, but once that happened, I mean, until that last corner, we really hadn't had any issues. But I bet it's not like that for this next 15 laps.
Joshua Altus.
Yeah, I'm shocked that they decided to wreck coming to the stage. I mean, you would have thought that was the end. So Sam just said, they all just burned their faster spares except for Evan. So here we go.
Samuel Dyer coming back to the green. Your take of the first 35 laps.
I went back, rewatched. It looked like Logan Brakey, one of the few drivers, as well as Evan Coleman, the only drivers that did not use a faster pair. So everyone else, they got to be gingerly aggressive here as they're coming to the end of the open. Remember, it's our top 4 automatically move on. Then it's the driver voted in driver that gets to move on to the open race. I mean, you
want to be one of those drivers that gets voted in as we are back to the whip green flag back in the air here in the All-Star race here for the SNB Cup Series presented by Appalachian Hauler Hunters. And again, thanks to Blitz Racing Network for sponsoring this event. The Dyer family. That goes on. Samuel Dyer brings him down to the inside. He's the man we're watching. Looking at this, Samuel. There's Coleman. Coleman, the CEM Motorsports entry, looking for his first career SNB Cup Series win of the season. But it's a non-points race, though, Samuel. But a win's a win.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be a lot of confidence being able to win here in the open race. But he has also learned a lot of information on that first stint, in the first 15 laps. Madigan showed you can be aggressive, push your tires to the max, and they won't fall off until after our first 15 laps. So Coleman, he's got the green light. It is go time for all these drivers, understanding, hey, if you're going to be making a move, make it now. Here comes Eric Stamp to the inside of that of Peterson.
Joshua, when do you lay it all on the line? When does patience go and you got to go now with 10 to go?
Oh, gosh. I mean, I think Coleman's in a good spot. I think Madigan's in a good spot. I'm just watching this battle between the 69 and 96, and I just – I know Zach very well. He's one of my best friends. He's one of my teammates, but he can be known to be over aggressive at times. So right now I'm trying to telepathically tell him, like, take it easy. You're still in a transfer spot. Because, at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter if you finish first, second, third, or fourth. I mean, you're going to the big show. So although I have to say, as an aside, I want to give a quick shout out to Papa Smith. Chris Smith has put up a little bit of cash, I think $10 for the open winner. So, how much do you really want to risk, transferring? I think Evan Coleman seems to have it on lockdown right now. So, but if I'm, Stamp or Peterson right now, just kind of ride right now. You got a little bit of a gap back to Brakey and Broughton Packard. So don't do anything too crazy, just load some laps and see if you can transfer.
Risk versus reward, I guess, is a nice way of saying it. Got to show what you got. You got to lay your cards on the table, and you better do it now because only 4 drivers are going in to the SNB Cup Series All-Star Race 2021 here at Nashville. The leader is, of course, the machine. As we look at Peterson, there's Evan Coleman. He continues to lead the way in that number 51. Eric Stamp right behind him. Even after the problems he had just a moment ago, Samuel, he gets back in P2. He wants this. What a run for for Eric Stamp, well as Zachary Peterson.
Yeah, I mean, it helps when most of the drivers that were involved in that wreck all had to use a faster pair, so not a lot of positions were lost, especially with a smaller field. It's given a shot for that of Madigan and Stamp, but both these drivers have shown when you've got to get back onto the throttle off these corner number 4, they get loose. They get a little bit out of control, and you got to be wondering for that of Madigan and for Stamp. They've already shown that if they can get a little bit too giddy, is contact going to be made behind them, slowing down Logan Brakey, who gets contact, damage 2, and he might have to use his faster pair now.
I was watching those guys back there, and you could just see those top 4 pulling away. Brakey was trying so hard to get by Brockton. He knew he had to go, and I was watching those guys run side by side and just unfortunately finally ran into some problems there.
And don't forget, guys, these guys do have 2 additional sets of tires. So by my math, I think all these guys should have 1 more set left. So let's see if, they come into pit here with 8 to go.
Yeah, I mean, Logan Brakey.
No help, guys. Just lost it on his own there. Yeah.
The one thing I'm noticing from Logan is whenever it gets into these late race moments where it's not about tire saving, this is when the 2 is probably at his weakest. Logan Brakey just seems like he's much better when he's making other drivers work and utilize their equipment faster, so then he can take the advantage. But when it's a shootout, I don't think the 2 is in a very comfortable spot as the whole entire field comes in.
Yeah, pit road to a busy place, Wesley.
Yes, it is. Yes, sir. That's what I was about to say. Here comes the cavalry, and it's kind of crazy for them to pit with just 10 laps to go, but a lot of guys might not have had no choice in the matter.
You think we'll see any 2 tires?
Oh, yeah.
No.
That was not a 4-tire stop. That was 2 tires right there, I believe.
Oh, they all took 4 tires, and into pit road is going to be Christmas staying the longest. Looks like he's got extensive damage, and Logan Brakey going to be using his fast repair, so he is now going to be fully set up, ready to take off. But everyone had to take tires there. They were running about a full half a second slower than their best times. So it just was not worth it with how small of a field to try to risk to stay out on tires. And I don't think 2 tires would have been the best choice, especially with how much is on the line to be up front.
We're going to go from Nashville tonight with the SNB Cup Series All-Star Race to another All-Star Point Spectacular. Back to the dirt. Hey, Samuel, you looking forward to going back to the dirt from Bristol? Now the dirt at Knoxville tonight. Northwest Truck Series tonight at Knoxville. It will feature the lone qualifying, heat races, and then a 100-lap feature. Knoxville tonight, part of the Northwest iRacing Truck Series, 11:30 Eastern Time on LSRTV and on the Community Radio Network at CRN Sports. The lights are off of the pace car. What do you think, gentlemen?
I was going to say, Wesley, just to put a period on that, I hope that race is cleaner than the real-life race was.
Ooh, oh, my goodness. I talked with, I was in Anderson for the Red Bud 400, and I got to talk to Carson Hocevar and Corey Heim, that were there or they were a part of that shenanigans, especially Carson Hocevar. And he was just telling me, man, God almighty, I can't believe the way, but they wanted the track to be the way that the track was. So, you set yourself up for, I guess, for what it is, and it turned out to be that way. It's growing pains. I do know that there is talks of them coming back again next year, so get ready, Knoxville. Should be a fun time with the trucks, and I know there's also a possibility of Xfinity maybe getting a race there next year as well. Pace car dropping onto the lane, ready for the final. Under 10 laps to go in stage 2 of the All-Star Race. Oh, no! He spun the tires! He spun the tires! Zach Peterson into Logan Brakey into the infield grass. Caution out on the restart. My goodness.
Yeah, I mean, it all started with Zach Peterson just getting up on the binders and trying to get it the best launch he possibly could, but he got right on the back bumper of Madigan, and it just all backfired for that of the 96 to try to weave back in, and just got out of control. Too many horses under this 96 that got him out of control and into 2 other drivers.
Guys, you know who was the beneficiary of that? Papa Smith in P4 now.
Was running 7th all day long and now in a prime spot to find himself into the next round. And sometimes you need to have some misfortunes from other drivers if you want a shot into the next round.
I guess now the question becomes those guys that were caught up in that, how much damage and how much does it affect?
Chris Smith smelling like a red rose now at the end of this deal, as you just reiterated on, man. He's got a nice shot to come in here and make a run to the finish.
Yeah, I'm interested. Like you said, Rob, I'm curious how much damage some of those guys got. I'm trying to go back and watch. It looks like Packard's got, his rear end looks like it's tore up. I think Peterson's got some damage. I'm wondering if these guys are going to try to come fix it or not.
They're both coming in of Packard and Peterson. It's Logan Brakey that's going to be staying out, not going to be trying to get any service done. He'll just stick with what he's got. I think understanding track position, important for the two. All he has to get by is Papa Smith, otherwise known as Chris Smith, in the 55. For these drivers, again, for those that are watching, caution laps do not count. We got to run all of these laps under green until we get to the end of this thing.
Sam, Packard just took his fast repair. He still had his.
Question is how? I don't know how he did. I thought for sure he'd used it before, but I guess it was sneaking below.
Understanding from some of our spotters on the pit lane, Rabbits, that everybody has used their fast repair except for Evan Coleman. Samuel, is that good or bad?
I mean, it's not good for the rest of the field. Evan Coleman, all he needs to do is make sure he gets good launches. He's been showing he's the fastest car out here, and he's the only driver based off of the best laps that have been put down all race long. Evan Coleman's the only one that has driven below a 30 sub time. Everyone else has ran a 30 or slower than that. So I think the rest of the field a little concerned if they can catch up to the 51.
So have we seen the last caution?
No. No, I'm sorry. I don't think we have.
I think you're right.
It's a good question, but there's just too much on the line. Drivers recognizing, hey, if I bring out a caution, it gives me more time to possibly catch up to the drivers in front of me, and a little bit of a ding here or there resets you. And with these caution laps not counting, it makes the drivers have a lot better shot to move themselves forward. And just like Papa Smith, he's up to fourth, right in that advanced spot that you need to be in.
So we will have, it looks like, 7 laps to go when the field makes their way back to the Geico restart zone, ready to get the green flag back out in the air here. They will send it. I still think we have more calamity on the horizon.
Yeah, if I'm Peterson, I'm sitting P7. I'm not out of it yet.
And the thing is, all those cars that just got caught up in that accident, hey, guess what? They are right back in the hunt of things again. It's not over. Back to the line. Green flag in the air. 7 to go in the All-Star Open for the SNB Cup Series at Nashville. Get in the Music City virtually. There to turn 1. Top 4 single file with Coleman out in front.
Yeah, Papa Smith was in the prime spot, but it looked like he was in too high of a gear, just could not get up to speed, and now being passed by everyone. Started in 4th, now back to 6th, soon to be back in 7th, which puts Logan Brakey now in that transfer spot, but he's got Peterson right on his back bumper.
To the tri-oval. Someone's got to break out of line. There's your top 3 pulling away. There's a nice battle, though, for the final transfer spot, gentlemen. Joshua, as they go off into turn 2.
Yeah, what's even more interesting is, this is still a lot of, in the works, but Logan Brakey's taking over the Adrenaline iRacing series, and we're working on kind of a partnership between us and, the SNB Cup series and the Adrenaline iRacing series. And Zach Peterson and him have been kind of working together with that. So I'm interested now, these guys have had a lot of meetings with each other. They're buddies. So, but, it's going to be interesting to see what happens here going for that last transfer spot. But don't count Broughton Packard out either. He's getting around Peterson.
Peterson getting way, way high there, boy. For a second there, Joshua, he was dirt tracking at Rob Sherwood.
Yeah, he was. I think he definitely tried to make a power move right there, but unfortunately it didn't stick. So he's got to do some work to get back here to Brakey, because Brakey's got a little bit of a gap between the two of them.
Under 5 to go. Trouble. Turn car down to the infield. In the back behind Peterson. Issue. Chris Smith. No caution. 4 to go.
Caution. He kept it straight.
Yeah, good job by him to do that.
Papa Smith going off course because he was off the racing surface. He was not going to bring out a yellow for these drivers, but this kind of puts him out of contention unless a yellow comes out. Still at that transfer spot is Logan Brakey, but he's trying to pull himself away. I gotta wonder for Zach Peterson. He's got to be careful. That 69, he is probably one of the few drivers that I'm seeing just get extremely loose through the center off. he's got to worry about that throttle control because it seems like it's getting him out of loop and a little bit out of control.
Guys, the 24 of Broughton Packard is up on the wheel right now. He can see that final transfer spot. I know he wants it.
To the line. It is under 5 remaining, 3 to go now as the field works their way back in to the start-finish line. 2 remaining now. Top 3 are gone. There's the transfer spot as Coleman leads them. My pick, Brakey and Packard.
Does Brockton Packard use the bumper here?
100%. Absolutely.
It's been touched on. It's been touched on all week. All the drivers
This is for the
saying,
All-Star race,
if I've got a
man.
shot to get in, I'm going to use my
trouble
bumper.
with Stamp! Trouble with Stamp!
Oh!
What happened to Stamp?
The CRN, 1 to go. Final time, all bets are off. Coleman into turn 1.
Guys, something happened to Stamp. He went on pit road.
Hey, Zygmunt, he should have zagged. Back straight away, Madigan, Coleman, Madigan. Does he use the chrome horn? Samuel, here they come into turn 3.
Coming out of 4, it's going to be that of Evan Coleman, but Madigan's going to try to get the better run, but just not close enough. Evan Coleman winning here at the All-Star Open race with Madigan, Brockton Packard, Logan Brakey, your top 4. And out of Eric Stamp, I think he might have gotten a holding penalty.
Wow.
Chris Smith, Zach Peterson, Eric Stamp, missing the All-Star race from the Open by just 1 spot. 2, 3 positions there on the back orange pylon. Again, what might have been, but again, there is the opportunity for that driver vote. Evan Coleman for CEM Motorsports takes the checkered flag and will win.
I'm just trying to figure out what happened to Stamp. He was running P3 and then it dropped down to pit road. He must have had a penalty or something.
That's the only thing I can think of is that he got a penalty. It could have been like black flag during the restart incident. That's the only time I could think of, but Eric Stamp went from one of the drivers almost for sure locked in to now in 6th place. Has to hope that he can get a driver voted in spot as there's only 1 more spot left to finish up our 20 drivers that are going to be racing for the All-Star race.
So here is your, again, results presented by... I had to pause for a second there. My jam's playing in the background. I love you, Charles. Sawblade.com on official results. Evan Coleman is the winner. Joseph Madigan on the number 2 spot. Brockton Packard 3rd. Logan Brakey will transfer in those 4 drivers into the show. All right, so Joshua and Samuel, there is 3. Am I right? 3 drivers now. Chris Smith, Eric Stamp, Zach Peterson are eligible for the driver vote.
Yes, I believe you're right.
Also, I just got a report in for one of the drivers listening into what was going on. Eric Stamp, because of how many cautions came out, ran out of fuel, and that is why he had to come into pit road.
Are you serious?
Unbelievable.
With the caution laps not counting, that's what puts these drivers into that type of a situation where you got to be careful of your fuel.
That's a whole nother thing to think about. So I guess we'll need to tally up the fan votes here, Rob.
We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk to Evan Coleman, and we will tell you who is the driver vote going into the 21 All-Star race for the SNB Cup Series, presented by Appalachian Hauler Hunters here at Nashville. Our broadcast coverage on LSRTV, presented by another network, the Blitz Racing Network. More coverage when we return.
Out of West Monroe, Louisiana. We do custom T-shirts, racing. We'll do any shirt. We'll do schools, churches, fundraisers. We do a ton of event shirts, as you can see on our board here, all around our banner. Personalized. I mean, we do anything. It doesn't matter to us. We got the custom rugs. We use all the, top quality shirts, inks and everything. Hoodies, hats. We do embroidered hats, embroidered shirts. Just you can call us for anything. We do offer the bag and fold, to where you can receive them and they're already labeled and tagged and bagged, ready to give out to your customer and stuff. So you can just call us and just tell us, hey, this is what we're looking at doing, and if we're going to put the car on there, it is 125 quantity minimum. If it's without the car, it's 60 quantity minimum. That's strictly on the racing stuff. If it's a business or something, if you race on Texas shirts, it's a little bit differently. You can call us. It just depends on your quantity and ink colors. Everything is hand drawn. I mean, everything. We don't Photoshop anything onto a shirt or anything like that. Everything that we go through, everything is drawn, and which is the reason for the art fees. We do have several graphic artists that draw for us, and they're really good. So what we do is on any package that you do, we can mix and match. We can do any colors. You can do purple, red, blue, green, and do the rest black. It doesn't matter to us. With your design on there, we can do hoodies. We can do hoodies, long sleeve shirts, T-shirts, tank tops. It doesn't matter. I mean, it's almost limitless what you can do, and you can put all that together in that package to make that minimum requirements. They can call us 318-278-7191, or they can email us at bulletprooftees@yahoo.com, or they can go to the website bulletprooftees.com.
Till the dawn. The night is young, so are we. So close your eyes and set it free. Underneath the strobe lights, ready for a crazy night. I can hear your heartbeat, banging loud like a drum. Let me be your only one. Do you feel what I see?
The drivers of the SNB Cup Series All-Star Race now having themselves a little practice session before they prepare for the All-Star Show. What an All-Star opening was. Samuel Dyer, Rob Sherwood, Joshua Altus, I'm Wesley Outland. We brought it to you. Samuel, pretty fun one, pretty good wild one in the end. Evan Coleman getting the win.
Yeah, I mean, Evan showed the patience in the first stage of that race, recognizing, hey, track position was going to be the key. And due to him saving his tires, got him up front and away from all the madness from second on back. Really had no idea who was going to be making it on to the next round. And we thought for a second Eric Stamp was going to make it into the next round, but he ran out of fuel with 1 lap to go. And now we wait to see who's going to be the driver moving in through the driver vote.
And we are about to unveil that here before we grab a word with our top 4 finishers. And then once we talk to the top 4 from the All-Star Open, we will grab a word with the driver that is in the driver All-Star race from the driver fan vote. And that, Rob Sherwood, is, drum roll, please,
Chris Smith.
Chris Smith is in the All-Star event. It was by the fan driver vote. The driver votes have spoken. Chris Smith is in this race. And by the way, Joshua, we're understanding somebody ran out of fuel on the checkered flag lap.
Yeah, Wesley, that was wild. I was sitting there watching the battle for the final transfer spot, so we thought. And then, kind of out of nowhere, Eric Stamp drops onto the apron, and apparently Sam Dyer touched on it during commercial break. He actually ran out of fuel because the caution laps don't count, but they still count for your fuel. The man didn't have enough fuel left, was 1 lap short, and that is the difference between him being in the All-Star race, and unfortunately now he's a spectator.
What a heartbreak there for the driver, Eric Stamp. Of course, after all the problems he had to redeem himself and come back through the field. Good spot there. We're going to talk now to our top 4 that have advanced. I think we've only got 3 of them right now, I believe. But
yeah,
anyhow,
Looks like Madigan will not be in the booth
Madigan.
for an interview, but we've got our other drivers that are willing to have a chat with us. Our winner, that of Evan Coleman, and then also finishing in third, Brockton Packard and Logan Breaking in fourth.
Yeah, so Madigan, again, a good run for Madigan. He finishes the number 2 position. He transfers into the All-Star race, but unable to be for interviews right now. So let's grab 4th place finisher, Logan Breaking, the driver of the number 2 machine, and bring him into the booth. Logan, it's LSRTV, the All-Star Open. You got a recap for us, bud. What's your take of the event? And, hey, it wasn't pretty. You had some bad luck along the way, but you redeemed yourself and you finished in 4th.
Yeah, oh my goodness. This was my first time driving the old Gen Cup cars. And it was my first time on Nashville. So I had my hands full. I was really struggling in practice, and I was still struggling in the race. I actually kind of got the hang of it there later in that first half. It started to come in late in the run, but yeah, that was a blast.
I mean, Logan, you certainly were showing off that you were figuring out the car the more the run went on. For that last 15 laps, though, kind of a mad dash with all the cautions that were coming out. Did you find that it was kind of difficult not to get back on the throttle immediately coming out of these corners with fresh tires?
So yeah, after our stage caution, I was really struggling off of 4 because all I wanted to do was keep up with the top 4, right? I was sitting 5th and wanted to keep up with those guys, and I kept trying to put the power down off of 4, and the back end just kept snapping around, and finally it caught me off guard, and I overcorrected, went into the fence, and that made it worse. And so then that's what led to the spin off of turn 4 there to bring out that last caution. So yeah, it was a handful on fresh tires. But yeah, it was a blast nonetheless.
Breaky, it's Josh in the booth. I just want to get in your head real quick. We saw you and Broughton battling really hard for what looked like that last transfer spot until Eric Stamp had to pull off. Ran out of fuel with 1 to go. What were your thoughts when you saw Eric pull off?
I honestly was speechless, but I was astounded. He told me he took less fuel to keep the back end higher in the car, higher up or something like that. I don't know. There was a method to his madness, but I don't know. It baffled me why he would take that risk in an All-Star Open. But thanks to him, I guess, because I was driving with white knuckles those last 5 laps or so because I was ready for a bumper from Brockton coming to the white flag. He and I didn't know who was going to get in. We knew one of us was going to get in on the top 4. The other was going to maybe get in on the fan vote. But yeah, that was I was amazed by that.
All right, guys. Well, I believe Rob, did you ask a question to Logan?
I did not, but
well, go ahead.
I was
Everybody gets to ask at least one question. Everybody gets to ask at least one question.
All right. Yeah, I guess I gotta ask, what did you think of the car in traffic? I mean, was it difficult to pass? Did you feel like it was pretty much stuck, or how did you feel about things?
Yeah, man, I was so busy fighting the car, I couldn't really tell how it felt in traffic. I tell you, when we were on that first run, I was battling with Peterson, with Zach there, I kept getting runs on him off the corners, but I kept driving to him so quickly, I had to keep checking up because I didn't want to dump him. If I was going to dump somebody, it was going to be on the white flag for a transfer spot. It wasn't going to be before the stage caution for no reason because I didn't want him to have a chance of getting me back later. So, I don't know. Maybe it tightened up a little bit, but my hands were so full just trying to fight the looseness of these cars that I didn't really notice all that much.
All right, Logan. Everybody got to ask you a question. It's time to thank your sponsors. We appreciate you, bud. You're in the All-Star race. Get them ready.
Woohoo! Yeah, thanks to you guys for broadcasting as always. My mom for watching. Thanks to all the boys for putting this on. Josh, Rob, Zach, all of you guys for putting this on. Excited to go racing in the All-Star race, man.
All right, buddy, there you go. There's the driver, Logan Breaky. He's 4th here tonight. He's in the All-Star event. Coming up here in just a little bit. 3rd place, hey, Brockton Packard. We'll holler at him real quick, number 24. And Packard is in the event. Packard, number 24, 3rd place. Your take of what was a wild All-Star Open.
Yeah, man, it was exactly what you said. Wild. The cars are so much power, so little downforce, and you hit the gas and the back end snaps, and you've got about half a second to correct it, or else you'll be spun around. I tried to keep the nose clean, but a couple other drivers had some tire spin issues. So, but overall we kept the nose clean, so pretty good run.
And Brockton, we got to see with all the cautions coming out, the worry of fuel. Do you feel like with the All-Star race being a longer race, do you feel like fuel might be a bigger issue for you to keep your eyes out on?
Yeah, Sam, during the Open, we had a window of about 35-ish laps of when we'd had to pit. And with the caution laps not counting, that just gets smaller and smaller every caution you have. So definitely have to watch out for a couple guys playing some tricks. We know that Matt Dyer likes to play some tricks with the fuel strategy, so we'll see what happens with that. But I think with the caution laps not counting tonight, it's definitely going to be something to look out for.
Hey, Broughton, it's Josh. I gotta know, man. You and Breaky were battling there for what we thought was going to be the last transfer spot. Were you going to use the bumper?
It did cross my mind until about 3 to go, and I was side by side with him, and I knew I had a cleaner car. I had used my faster pair after I got into it with Peterson and himself. So I knew I had a little bit of a better car, but if it came to it, I definitely would have put the bumper on him. But both of us, I think he mentioned it during his interview, we both knew one of us was going to make it in on the fan vote. So, but we didn't have to worry about that, so that's always good.
Yeah, I just wanted to follow up that question, Brockton. How do you feel about your chances going into this All-Star race? Do you think you have an advantage because you guys just ran a full race together, or what are you thinking?
It's so hard to tell. The track changes a lot throughout the race, and with a longer race after we get past lap 45, everything's going to be new. But I think that some of the Open guys might have a little more of an advantage, especially Evan. He knows how to get around it. He got around it, we saw, very well. So maybe Breaky and I would have a little bit of an advantage in the pack, but it's going to be interesting to see. Not really sure, though.
Well, there you go. Brockton, you're in. Thank your sponsors. We'll see you in a bit. Good luck tonight in the All-Star race.
Yeah, man, gotta thank Agent NASCAR. Sadly, he didn't get to design this paint scheme, but he makes fabulous paint schemes for the 24, the 94, or the 96, excuse me, and all the Shadow Racing guys. Gotta thank my parents, of course, my girlfriend, you guys for putting this on, the sponsor for the race. Couple guys getting in here. Awesome to see the SNB Cup Series grow, both its sponsorship family and its viewership family. And got to thank Ross Tatum for starting the Vote for Brockton Packard campaign through the past week.
That's Brockton Packard. He is third, and he is into the All-Star race. Driver for that number 24. Keep an eye on him. Finally, one more man left to talk to victory lane, and that was my pick. Evan Coleman is in the All-Star race by virtue of winning. Evan, congratulations to you, but man, it wasn't easy. That was a pretty wild race.
Yeah, towards the end for sure. It was really just trying to get data points because I'm going to be starting in the back now. So hopefully, the pace I did show can carry over. But I know it's going to be way harder from here on out because I know most of the people now have practiced.
Yeah, I mean, Evan, coming into that Open race, we kind of saw your strategy early on. Just let that Madigan just use up all of his stuff, get up front. But for those final 15 laps, did you feel like there was any true pressure, or did it seem pretty easy for yourself?
No, because I knew if I get with 0.5 ahead on my relative, I knew he wasn't really going to catch up. But I knew his 15 lap pace was strong. I just didn't know early on if he was going to be like, oh, he has long run speed, if he doesn't. So I was just really just gauging that first stage, and then I saw that he doesn't. I was like, okay, I can just go, and then we'll have no problem. But the only concern I had was actually running out of gas, and I ran out coming to not the white flag, but coming to the checkered flag. I had to shut it off so I could cross the line.
What? Go ahead, Josh.
Yeah, Evan, I don't really have a question for you. I was just going to mainly say I told you so because I knew you had nothing to worry about. I knew you were going to go up there and transfer in. So good job for you on that. I guess I will ask a question, though. How did you feel like the car translated with the track? I know you and Matt put a lot of effort into making the setup. Are you happy with the car, with the race run?
Yeah, it's kind of like that one Dolphins player from the NFL. You know, it is what we thought they were. So everything it did, it did everything we wanted it to do. I mean, it's just now it comes down to it's not like the setup is going to make this all-star race. The winner is all comes down to setup. It's really going to be down to who has the best pedal inputs and steering inputs, who's nice to the car, and then because you can be aggressive, you can be soft with the car and be on the long run pace. Like you can do whatever you want with it. So it's just going to be really exciting to see what people decide to do.
I just want to say that I'm glad you won because, as you remember, you were my driver vote until Joshua Altus talked me out of it. So I'm glad that things worked out. I got one question for you. Are you going for it in this race?
That's the plan. I mean,
my guy.
Not going to race to win?
My guy.
But can we iterate on that more, Evan? All bets are off, basically. You think we're going to see a pretty wild all-star race tonight?
Yeah, everybody. I plan to use the bumper. I'll buy somebody ice cream later if their feelings are hurt. But it should be fun.
Just not me, right?
Nah. Nobody's safe.
But Evan, I'm still waiting on Olive Garden, and I'll wait on ice cream for you because you were my pick to win this race. I called it.
It was the easy pick. You picked the easiest pick out there.
It's like picking Kyle Busch in an Xfinity race. Good job, Wesley.
I don't know if you guys remember the guy that put down $10,000 on Trevor Lawrence to go number one in the draft, and he only got paid out $50, but that's pretty much what it is.
Yeah, pretty much. I only get $1. Hey, Evan, congratulations, buddy. Go get them in practice, and good luck on the All-Star race. It's going to be fun, I think.
Thank you. I will try my best.
All right, buddy. Oh, hey, thank your sponsors before we let you go.
Don't have any.
Don't have any. There you go. Somebody sponsor this guy. He won the All-Star Open. Evan Coleman. Thanks, buddy. Evan Coleman. Hey, all right, so final wrap-up with Joshua Altus and Rob Sherwood. Guys, I'm going to miss working with you. We had fun here with the four-man team.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Thank you, guys. I've been running LSRTV on my car all season. Big shout out to Jeff Stabnow, Charles Wooten, you, Wesley, Sam Dyer, all you guys. You're like family. So enjoy being up here in the booth with you guys. I'm gonna stay in TeamSpeak during the race if you guys want to come check in with me at all. So
it's on now. He's gonna be our driver analyst.
We'll do it.
Samuel, we get a costume. We're bringing Altus in. He's our driver analyst for the night. Okay.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, we might do like CBS and SRX does now. We might you while you're in the middle of the race, since it is the All-Star race.
Oh man. Well, I'm up for it. So whatever you guys want to do. So, but no, just
the gloves are off, pal. Rob Sherwood, are you interested?
I'm gonna have to play around with it, but maybe so. Honestly, I had a blast with you guys. I appreciate you guys having me. So, if I can get a little bit more time, then I'm down.
There you go. So probably what we'll do is we will at least still hear from Altus and Sherwood as they will be our driver analysts. We will take a quick break. When we come back, it is the All-Star Race for the SNB Cup Series, presented by Appalachian Holler Hunters on LSRTV. This broadcast and this event presented by the Blitz Racing Network, and we are All-Star Racing when we return. Welcome back to coverage of All-Star Night. Yes, it's Hump Day. Oh, hey, this reminds me of last year, by the way, Samuel, when I had to do Charlotte. I'm not sure, but Bristol, the NASCAR All-Star Race. Matter of fact, I think it was around this time, as a matter of fact, last year. When I done the NASCAR Cup Series All-Star Race at Bristol, it was on a Wednesday night. If you remember, they had the cars, the numbers were all the way to the back of the spoilers. They had the little lights under the cars as well. Some people didn't like it. Some people did. They were trying to attract that Fast Too Furious genre of fans. But anyhow, we welcome you back. There is no neon lights under these cars. They are a former prototype model of the Cup cars, and they are going all-star racing with Samuel Dyer. I'm Wesley Outland, Charles Wooten in the production chair, along with Joshua Altus and Rob Sherwood as our driver analyst. We present to you the All-Star Race. There is no money. There is no points on the line. Money up for grabs. And Samuel, from the sound of all these drivers, at least it made it in from the open. All bets are off at Nashville.
Yeah, it is going to be a crazy one here tonight. Gloves are off, and a lot of the drivers have been talking about it. They're willing to get aggressive, as here is our team. It's 126 starting grid. Caleb Smith is going to be getting the pole position with that of Thomas Fisher to his outside. The grid was actually a drawn up of the drivers on where they were randomly selected. Row 2 going to be Tom Bourne, and that of Josh Altus going to be to his outside. Row number 3 going to be that of Kevin Martin and Keenan Massey. Row number 4 going to be back there, going to be that of Ross Tatum and Rob Sherwood. As the rest is up to you, Wesley.
Moving on to row number 5, find Christian Garner in the number 7 machine to the outside. Your brother Matt Dyer in the 88 machine. Row number 6 on the grid will find Braxton DeWeese, the all-time winner of the series, last year's Cup Series champion, the number 8 to the outside. Logan Brakey, these are your all-star open winners. Evan Coleman there, row 7. Joseph Madigan as well. Moving on to the rest of the pack, includes Chris Smith, locked in Packard, and there is the lineup for the All-Star Race at Nashville. We are ready to go. Green flag in the air. We're on a 2-hour and 24-minute time clock. And the green is out at Nashville. Underway here at Nashville. There it is, lap 2 of 80. This is an 80-lap race. Stages are on the line, and the race is under green. Honestly, Samuel, I think they try to play nice, at least for the early going. But as we get to the home stretch, all bets are off here tonight at the Music City.
Yeah, and right now we're starting to see some drivers that might not have watched the open race, as Thomas Fisher is just gunning for the lead to get up front, pull away. This is what we saw from Madigan, but it backfired for that Madigan team, as we're starting to see some drivers deciding about move forward. But the driver, kind of like how Evan Coleman was the easy pick, I think Tom Bourne is the easy pick here tonight. Fastest during the practice that they had yesterday, and the fastest of today's practice. This 54 team, he's still looking for a win, but he is looking quick for himself. Another favorite to watch out for, Matt Dyer, who we've always seen trying to go for a different type of fuel strategy run, but based on raw speed, that 88 is quick.
Back straight away, Tom Bourne. And I love the fact all these drivers are driving very special paint schemes for this all-star race, just like you see in many years and dozens and decades of years past that NASCAR does on the all-star race night. They do the same thing here. We watch these drivers working their way up to turn number 1 and 2, lap 3 of 80. And right now, what do you know? It's the machine. Thomas Fisher, he got himself a road course win to advance into this all-star race, and also, Samuel, to the playoffs in the early going at Nashville.
Yeah, he won for that of Thomas Fisher. He won back at Road America this year. That's what automatically put the 92 into the playoffs. And, looking at some of the other drivers that got automatically put into the All-Star race, Tom Bourne, who was in second place, he got locked in because he got the pole position at Indy this year, which we sadly could not broadcast. But Tom Bourne, he is quick at these courses where it matters to watch out for fuel and tires, and he's starting to run up on that 92 team. But looking at some of the drivers that started in the Open, moving forward in 11th place is that of Madigan, who's trying to get himself into the top 10.
So this race is 3 stages long, 80 laps to distance. This race will go till lap 40 in stage 1. Competition caution will be through. Then they'll go for another 25 laps in stage number 2. And then all bets are off for that 15-lap shootout. Tires, mandatory 4 tires, a green flag fuel stop during stage number 2. And of course, these drivers on the 2013 Cup car is different than what they normally race on. Caution laps do not count in this event. Remember, 5 total sets of tires, including the 4 that are on the cars right now at green, and a fuel window between 37 to 40 laps, which means, Samuel, they might have to pit before the end of stage 1.
Yeah, stage 1, if there's a caution that comes out, all the drivers, I expect all of them to come in for fuel at least. Tires-wise, I don't know if they'll take tires on this first stint, but it could be possible for them to be thinking about that, a side-by-side action for the 6th place position. You've got that of Kevin Martin not running the same scheme as everyone else. Kevin Martin, as well as the 7 of Christian Gardner teammates, were not, I don't believe that they decided to put in their skins for everyone else out here, which again, the paint schemes made by Evan Coleman, who won the All-Star Open, running back in 12th, trying to wait, as we saw, 15 laps into a run. So we started to see the drivers' tires fall off, and we'll see the difference of drivers that were saving and those that were gunning forward. I think one of our favorite drivers that knows how to save, get up front, Braxton DeWeese in 7th place. We'll see if Braxton has the pace as he's following behind that of Keenan Massey, but our front 4, they are just pulling away from the rest of the field.
Nice little comfortable position. Altus right there joined us in the All-Star Open, and I'm gonna toy with him. I said I'd talk with him during a green flag run. Let's find out what's going on in the pit of Altus right now. You're in the top 5, buddy.
Yeah, I got a little loose to begin with, but we're starting to recover now, just trying to settle in.
Samuel, I think it's funny. His dialogue sounds completely different when he's in racetrack mode.
Hey, it's go time. You got a lot of drivers around you. Josh, since we still got you queued up, you're watching these front 4 in front of you getting a little bit slicey and dicey. Are you kind of in a wait and let them make their own mistakes and then take that position, or are you willing to get aggressive here?
I'm willing to get aggressive. I just tried to settle in. I slid a little bit on the first couple laps, so just trying to get used to these tires, how used to these cars drive. I think Thomas is going to burn his stuff up here, so Ross looks pretty fast. I'm looking at my relative. It looks like Braxton's come through the field, so I think we'll have a pretty good battle for the lead here pretty soon.
All right, we'll check in with you in a bit. There you go. There's Josh Altus again, one of our driver analysts, and currently sits in the top 5. Nice, comfortable position in that car number 94 for the inaugural series champion. By the way, drivers invited into this all-star race are by virtues of race winners, pole winners, and champions of the season's and the current on the calendar for the SNB Cup Series, presented by Appalachian Hauler Hunters. Broad coverage on LSRTV. Also, this race presented by the Blitz Racing Network. Right now, we're in the middle of stage 1, coming up lap 13 of 80. And for the moment, it is Thomas Fisher out in front, leading the way. No one can get to him. He is leading. Tom Bourne in 2nd, Ross Tatum, Caleb Smith is 4th, and Joshua Altus the top 5. Keenan Massey is 6th, Braxton DeWeese is 7th, and halfway through the field is Matthew Dyer, Samuel, in the top 8.
Yeah, Matt Dyer about to be pushed and passed by that of Madigan. And Madigan, one of our front drivers from the open, making his way up into 8th place, pushing Dyer back to 9th. Then you got that of Kevin Martin, Kevin Coleman in 11th. 12th going to be Rob Sherwood, or Brockton Packer in 13th. Logan Breakey in 14th. Christian Gardner in 15th. And in last place, the the driver voted driver into the All-Star race. That's going to be that of Papa Smith. Chris Smith back in 16th place.
Going back to Chris Smith, Papa Smith, Caleb Smith's father. And we said that this was a vote, a driver vote. It's got to be humbling that all these drivers on the series said, hey, you're the guy.
Yeah, I mean, everyone loves that Papa Smith's running out here. He might not be the fastest guy, but he certainly is respectful when he's on course and willing to put on the best show that he can put on, and gives him a shot to be out here and be one of the oldest competitors in the SNB Cup Series. It's great to see Papa Smith running out on course and getting voted in by those that he runs with and all his colleagues here in the SNB Cup Series.
By the way, don't forget tonight, beginning at 11:30 Eastern Time, Samuel Dyer, Greg Rentz possibly, but myself will bring you coverage. Greg will be in the house, so hey, it's going to be fun on the dirt, doing dirt track racing, Knoxville style. The Northwest iRacing Truck Series from Knoxville at Knoxville Raceway. Coverage 11:30 Eastern, 10:30 on LSRTV and on CRN Sports. LTAC on Friday, the Argus Series Northwest Tour as well. All that coming up on your home for sim racing, LSR TV. Apologies for not, well, I'm not going to apologize, but I wasn't available on Monday. I had obligations at the Anderson Speedway in Indiana for the Redbud 400. Samuel and Charles, I appreciate you guys, a.k.a. him, stepping up to the plate and calling the races. And from what I was able to grab a time or two while working the pit lane, it sounded pretty good. Thanks for covering for me. And the new leader for the lead as they go for it in turn number 4, across the start-finish line. Tom Bourne trying to get around Thomas Fisher, and here comes Ross DeVos Tatum in 21.
Yeah, Ross was trying to give a push to Tom Bourne, but blinked away, so wasn't able to assist the 54. Instead, going to be making the pass for second place. Ross Tatum been the fastest car on track of our front 3 for quite a long time here. No surprise that he's coming up with a lot of speed, but with the slicing and dicing of our top 3, it's now bringing in the 12 right back into the action, as well as that is Josh Altus.
For the lead, past the start-finish line as they cross the stripe. Thomas Fisher, Ross Tatum, Tom Bourne. That 3-car battle. Caleb Smith licking his chops, ready to pounce like a cobra on those prey. Down into turn number 3 to the inside. Here comes Bourne. Good run for him. Strong runs in the last couple of weeks, I must say, Samuel, after he won an after he won an Adrenaline Cup Series event.
Yeah, he's still looking to come through and make a great charge for himself. But looking at Tom Bourne, he's one of those drivers that he's just trying to get a win. He has been having some poor luck these last couple of events, but here comes Ross the Boss Tatum. He's trying to make that outside line work, which is going to be a lot of pressure he's got to put on that front right tire. But the setup made by Matt Dyer and Evan Coleman, these drivers seem to be liking it, and it's giving them options on where they want to attack these corners.
3-car battle for the lead. Now they fan back out single file. Up the racetrack goes Tatum. I must say, as we are about to approach the first half in stage 1, second half now in this 40-lap stint, everyone for the most part being nice. Green flag runs continue. Samuel, we might see green flag pit stops before the end of stage 1.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be right on the brim of when these guys are going to have to come into pit road. Really looking at that fuel window, it's going to be around 37 to 40 laps, and this first stint going to be 40 laps. So some drivers might be in a fuel saving mode right now, and I think that's exactly what I'm seeing from Matt Dyer, who went from a driver that was battling to be in the top 8, who fell all the way back to 15th in the past about 6 laps or so. Some drivers might be recognizing, hey, if I'm pushing too hard, I'm not going to be able to make it up front.
I know it's early, but it's All-Star night, and we can do what we want to because there's no rules apply. Let's kick some concrete extended at Nashville. Just working around 17 laps to go here in stage one of the All-Star race for the SNB Cup Series, and Samuel tops are underway.
Yaki and Massey coming into pit road. Drivers are now recognizing they cannot make it to the end. Braxton DeWeese went from a hard charger up to 5th place at one moment. He's now back to 13th. Drivers are now in extreme fuel save mode if they want to make it to the end of stage one and be up front.
And it looked like that's all that Keenan Massey did. No tires, just basically splash and go with that Sunoco virtual race fuel on the iRacing Cup car to number 4. He'll stay below the blend line now as you watch him stay below the blend line between the grass and the track. Once he hits that blue cone, which is right there, he can hit back onto the racing groove, onto the surface behind DeWeese's car. DeWeese with a problem. He falls back in the 8 machine.
I think he's in fuel save mode. He's going to have to figure out how to come in. As Evan Coleman, he was not saving. Matt Dyer was one of the first drivers to back off about 15 laps ago. He was battling up in 8th place. He fell back to 15th and was willing to just stay back, now getting aggressive, moving up to 10th place. But these drivers up front, they were not saving fuel. Right. Now concerned of fuel is going to be theirs. Brockton Packard gets into Dyer. Contact back in 9th place as they could try to continue to move forward. But up front, it's Ross the Boss Tatum just trying to continue to pull away from Fisher.
More cars onto the pit lane, taking on service. While that goes on, Ross Tatum is the new leader, the pink and black and white number 21 machine, holding off Fisher. Bourne is there. There's your top 3 as they roar to 3.
Drivers over radio trying to communicate when they're going to be thinking about coming into pit road. And this is massive. That's going to be Caleb Smith now into pit road. 2 CEM drivers coming into pit lane. Also, Tom Bourne ahead of him coming in. So we're starting to see our front runners all trickling into pit road, recognizing they cannot make it to the end because they were not saving fuel.
Tatum along with Fisher down to the inside. Race continues on.
Ooh, a lot of drivers got miscommunication. It sounds like over the radio, some drivers thinking lap 30 was when the stage would come to a close. It's lap 40 when these drivers are marching for. So some of these drivers that were charging up front, they were misthinking of when the stage caution was. They were thinking about the open race, not the actual all-star race.
And this might come back to hurt them big time. As you said, they got to get back and fix this, because remember, stage 2 will have a green flag pit stop in stage number 2.
Yeah, it
Part
is
of stage 1, not the case, but maybe there's some mistakes made here, Samuel.
Yeah, I mean, some of these drivers might not have read the right ruling of what this was going to be like. There was different rulings for how the open all-star race for the 7 drivers that raced before this compared to the actual all-star race. Like you said, there's going to be a mandatory green flag pit stop for stage 2 where drivers have to take 4 tires. We'll see when drivers decide to make that type of move during stage 2, but stage 1 comes to a close at the end of lap 4. I mean, it comes to a close at lap 40, so these drivers up front, they might be making it to the line, but they'll run out of fuel right when they cross the line and hope that they can coast all the way around to get back to their pit box.
Cross the stripe. Another lap in. There you see the 94, Altus. We checked in on him earlier. Battling Tom Bourne for position down to the inside. This is for 3rd.
Tom Bourne, one of the drivers that pitted first car 1 lap down, is the 54. So he topped off, knows that he's good to make it to the end of stage 1 as long as we stay green. But for these drivers that have already pitted, they're now going to be hoping and banking that the rest of the field comes into pit road, because if you're trapped a lap down, it's going to be a very tricky situation finishing out the rest of the all-star race, even though there's thoughts of possibly more cautions coming in, as that of Madigan going to be coming into pit road for the 76.
Remember, a couple more laps until the end of stage 1. That's 40 laps, and it's 25 laps in stage 2. And then it's all better off for a 15-lap shootout. We kind of figured, honestly, Samuel Dyer, that stage 1 would be kind of like this. No yellow flags. Everybody just kind of, as you see Madigan down below the pit lane, he just made another pit stop coming back up on the racing apron. We figured this race would be comfortable, this first stage. The second stage will pick up. The third stage, I think that's when we're going to see a shootout. That's when it's going to be one hot night for the SNB series in the Music City.
Oh, yeah. Drivers on that last stage are hoping that they still have a faster pair just in case they get caught up into some type of madness that's going on. Driver that just gave me a big scare, Braxton DeWeese, on the entry of turn 1, that last lap, he went onto the apron, almost making contact. He's racing for 7th place between himself and Packard. Packard, the leading car of the drivers that came from the open race, and certainly is putting on a show for himself, but now being pressured by Braxton DeWeese, who went on a little bit of about a 3-4 lap saving to try to make sure he had enough fuel to make it to the end as we are inching closer and closer to lap 30. More drivers into pit road. It's Fisher coming into pit road this time.
Thomas Fisher onto the pit lane.
Fisher, who had been up front leading, was not in the draft to try to save any fuel. He's now having to make this pit stop, which could be dropping him back behind that of Tom Bourne and Madigan, who, once they pitted, they've been on just a complete go, but late caution. Oh, whoa. No. Kevin Martin, slow and inching back onto the pit. Oh, I don't even know if that was really the caution that came out. But that is actually
might be the end of the stage. This might be the end of stage number 1, actually.
Yeah, a little bit sooner than what we saw the caution for the open race, which Martin had to wail, really back off. This was a very awkward timing for the field on when this yellow came out, but drivers under a little bit of confusion, but Tom Bourne, he was hoping that more drivers would come into pit lane, but he's going to be, I believe, the first car 1 lap down, given the lucky dog position.
Tatum onto the pit lane, number 21, and he will win stage 1 here of the 2021 SNB Cup Series All-Star Race presented by Blitz Racing Network. Altus behind him. They're all coming down to the pit lane for pit stops here at the end of stage number 1.
Yeah, touch on Blitz Racing Network. That's a network that my brother and I are working on. Our first league that we're going to be racing on the Blitz Racing Network on YouTube is going to be that of the Reddit Grand Prix F1 2021 racing action to be seen on that channel. That's going to be the first Sunday of September, when we're going to be having racing action, F1 action. We'll also have Evan Coleman, who's racing out there. He'll be up in the booth with me.
This will allow us to step away. All-Star Night, quick break, stage 2. When we return, LSRTV from virtual Nashville.
Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, right? Our Ram trucks, truck of the year, amazing trucks. We have fun Jeeps, and then the exciting Dodge and Chrysler products. Lots of performance there, lots of excitement there. They've done a great job in really creating a full scope product line that could suit everybody's needs. Whether it's a family vehicle or a fun vehicle or a utility type vehicle or a big truck, we've got it all for our customers.
Thinking about selling your vehicle? Get a real offer today at Gun. Just like our real prices, we give you a real offer for your vehicle. Good for 10 days or 1,000 miles, and we guarantee it in writing. You don't have to buy anything from Gun. We just really need more pre-owned inventory. We'll give you top dollar and write you a check on the spot. Visit gunauto.com today for locations. Selling your vehicle to Gun means a real offer. Guaranteed. Real. Simple.
All-Star race. Stage number 1 is done. We're getting ready for stage number 2. 25 laps. Welcome to coverage on LSRTV. I'm Wesley Outland. Samuel Dyer is alongside. Driver analysts are Joshua Altus and Mr. Rob Sherwood, a.k.a. him, in the production booth. The wave around being given to a couple of cars as we get one to go. All right, Samuel, what you take of the first half of the race?
Yeah,
or stage 1 at least. We're not halfway yet.
Yeah, stage 1 was pretty clean for these drivers, which was expected for all of us here. Drivers don't want to get too antsy, but this is when strategy comes into play, as all the drivers that came in, made their pit stops under stage 1, they're now taking that wave around. They're going to be at the end of the line, and now you got to make the decision. Do you want to pit early to try to get some type of advantage of having those fresher tires over the other drivers, or pit later because there is a mandatory pit stop under stage 2 for drivers to come in, take 4 tires, and get back out there on action?
Ready for the restart here as a couple of cars were given the wave around. They're now at max speed behind the rest of the field as they will get ready to come back to the Geico restart zone. We will get ready for stage number 2 in the Blitz Racing Network All-Star race for the SNB Cup Series. Field will be lined up 2 by now. Oh, a little ink and blink and nod on one of the cars there in the back of the pack. Was that Massey? I think it was.
I think that might have been
ready to go. Nonetheless, green flag, stage 2 of the All-Star race at Nashville underway.
Going to be that of Ross Tatum taking the charge here, and then you've also got that of Brockton Packard and Altus, your front drivers, as waiting for, how this field's going to attack as Keenan Massey goes straight to the back end. A lot of shuffling in the back half of the pack. There's a little bit of confusion on where drivers needed to be, and might be some black flags that need to be cleared for themselves, but side-by-side action for 2.
Off of turn 4, contact, car in the wall. Altus goes down below the infield grass. One car off the pace. That's Packard. He'll save it. No caution. But boy, that could have been calamity on the restart there, Samuel.
Yeah, Packard got shoved into the outside wall. Not going to be pushing him back to 6th place where Matt Dyer looms. And you hate to see that type of contact for these drivers. But again, these drivers do have one faster pair this race if needed. And then they've also got their sets of tires they got to worry about. They need to make at least one pit stop. It's getting out of control. It's going to be Christian Gardner coming back up into the field. And more calamity, more drivers caught up. Yellow waves.
Christian Gardner into the infield grass. Shades of what almost happened with Packard. It happens to Christian Gardner. The caution is out. First time besides the end of stage 1. And I got a feeling we're just going to see a lot more. Barney, your iRacing flagman, you better get the Banana Republic flag ready.
Yeah, we're going to be seeing it on the 7. Entry of turn number 3. He's going to be drifting through the whole entire corner. Just got on the accelerator too soon. And the whole entire time, the 7 was trying to save this car. Instead of letting it go into the grass, he comes back up into traffic, and hard contact for Logan Breaky and others as they go scattering through the grass.
Gardner, there you see him. The 7 machine. I don't know if our producer can go back to it, but could we possibly maybe go back to that almost crash between Altus and Packard on the front straightaway, literally right before this happened? Because honestly, Samuel, that could have been a bad wreck for him.
Yeah, that was, I think that was too many laps back. I think that was 4 laps back from this incident, but Packard got a little bit shoved up into the wall with Altus, and both drivers luckily scathed away out of that one pretty clean compared to what it could have been. But yeah, both drivers just running hard for that incident. As you see the 7, just one of those wrecks where the drivers are going to have to try to get, some of them are going to have to use their faster pair like Gardner here early on. But again, these drivers are mandatory to make a green flag pit stop. So for everyone that might be coming in this time by, it's just to get repairs done. This does not count as their one pit stop that they need to make here during stage 2.
This is not the man. Well, actually, would this count as the pit stop they have to make?
No, because it has to be under green. That is the key for this.
That's right. You're exactly right. You're right. It's got to be under green flag conditions. You are exactly right. So why would you do this for? Why would you take the time to do it?
Well, these are the drivers that were caught up in the incident. They have to get repairs done, so they're just getting the repairs done now instead of later for themselves. Tom Bourne, though, this is frustrating for the 54 team who had to spend a lot of time on repairs. One of our favorites caught up in that mess, and now he'll probably try to save this fast repair for that of Stage 3. When Stage 2 comes to a close, I'm expecting to see this 54 use a fast repair, but for now, it's get that manual repair done and hope you don't get any required.
Ready for the restart here in a couple more laps after that caution. Cars involved in that incident coming down to the pit lane for service. Everyone else is staying behind the pace car. While we're under yellow flag, Samuel and I'll give you a full field rundown here on lap number 40 as we are currently now halfway in the 2021 SNB Cup Series All-Star Race. Thomas Fisher is leading. Ross Tatum is second, winner of Stage 1. Joshua Altus sits in third. Rob Sherwood is fourth. Brockton Packard, your top five. Braxton DeWeese is sixth. Matthew Dyer, seventh. And Kevin Martin, halfway through the field, the top eight.
Christian Gardner, who was just caught up in that mess, going to be in 9th place with Logan Brakey, and going to be in 10th with Evan Coleman in 11th. 12th going to be that of Caleb Smith. Chris Smith, his dad's going to be back in 13th. The driver voted in machine that made his way into the All-Star race with Keenan Massey in 14th, as well as in 15th going to be that of Madger, and Tom Bourne going to be the last car running as everyone that was a lap down got a wave around. We're back to everyone back on the lead lap.
Don't forget tonight, Mr. Producer Charles, make sure you fix it on your broadcast write-up. It is Knoxville. We are dirt track racing, and I am looking forward to it for the first time ever. The trucks of iRacing for the Northwest Truck Series at Knoxville. 11:30, we go live. LSRTV and on CRN Sports on the Community Radio Network. Samuel, Greg, myself, we're looking forward to it. Truck, yeah. Slinging dirt, yeah. Wednesday Night Thunder on your home for sim racing. Field ready to rack them up, restart. Will we rack them, restack them, Samuel? Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, for tonight, for the dirt racing, last time we were at dirt was Bristol Dirt. We're hoping to see some newcomers coming up front, but I'm excited to see as Knoxville, we saw it in real life, it could be calamity for these guys as the pace car pulls off.
Blake Peterson picking up the win, by the way, here at Nashville on Monday night for the Cup Series. Green flag going back in the air. They're back in the restart zone and back up to speed. And look at the man pulling away. It is Thomas Fisher. Boy, has he turned some heads since winning at the road course event for the SNB Series. Back out in front, looking strong as he goes into turn number 3.
Yeah, Thomas Fisher up front, but this is the All-Star race. No points on the line, and we've heard some drivers. If it comes late in this race, the bumper might be used to try to get someone out of sorts. I've seen a couple of drivers practicing on how to get someone out of shape and out of the way. So expect to see late in our final stage of this race, drivers get a little bit more aggressive, more contact to be made. But right now, everyone's staying pretty gingerly, kind to one another. As Thomas Fisher pulls away, Altus and Ross, that's going to be for second and third. And behind them, Sherwood, DeWeese, they're keeping side-by-side action for fourth place.
Everybody playing nice. They work their way off of turn number 4. Back to start finish. 44 of 80 laps in. Remember, this race is 25 laps in stage number 2. Battle for second, heating up as they work their way off that second corner. It's Tatum. It is Altus fighting down the back straightaway here at Nashville to 3.
5 drivers coming in, making their first mandatory pit stop that they have to make under green. That's going to be Keenan Massey, Tom Bourne, Logan Brakey, Caleb Smith, and Evan Coleman. Your first 5 drivers for here for stage 2. You have to make a mandatory green flag pit stop, 4 tires, and get back out there.
4 tires, fuel is optional, but car does have to come off the ground in this pit stop. Logan braking. Here comes everyone else off the line. Massey will clear him off first on pit lane. Brakey, Coleman, now back to the on-track action as the leaders continue to fight hot and heavy. It's Thomas Fisher, Ross Tatum right there. Altus is there. Half a cat's whisker closing in the rest of the pack as they work across start-finish.
These are drivers trying to make the undercut work, gain as much time as possible, while the other half of the field might be trying to aim around lap 52 to 53. Split this stage in half so you can make the rest of the way as fast as you could possibly be. Some drivers might be trying to stretch it for the final 5 laps of the stint, but I feel like if you stretch it too far out, you might not be able to utilize that fresh rubber to gain time on your competitors.
Field coming back out of turn 4, back to start finish. There is Altus there. Altus, by the way, can we mention this, Samuel? He's been on kind of a slump lately. He hasn't won since last year, and he is obviously the defending or the inaugural series champion for SNB. But since then, it's been kind of a slump for the 94. Could he turn that around here on All-Star Night for Altus in 94?
Yeah, I mean, you could say it's been a slump, but he's been pretty consistent up in the top 5 for most of the season. So for my eyes, I think Altus, one of those drivers that his goal, be consistent. Matt Dyer into pit road getting his service done. Coming in this last time was going to be that of Kevin Martin as well as Christian Gardner. Those teammates making their moves to make their final pit stop. We're waiting for our top 8 all to come in, make their mandatory pit stop. But for Altus, he's got to be feeling pretty good for himself, still within a second of our front 2.
You know, Samuel, I believe that, and again, I didn't mean any disrespect by saying that about Altus, but Altus wants to win. He's had distant finishes, don't get me wrong, but Altus wants to win. He wants to get back to victory lane. You can hear the hunger when he talks about it, and he's been on this slump for a while. So, you know, I mean, yeah, consistent finishes are good, Mr. Consistency, if you will, but when you win, you're winning. You're back in the saddle again. You're back on cloud 9. You're back feeling good, confident about yourself and your team. He wants that. It's been a long time coming.
Yeah, I mean, wins certainly are something that you want it, but you need also a little bit of luck to have that shot, and I think that's what Braxton DeWeese has had almost all season long. The 8 machine has figured out how to get the luck in most of the wins this season. I mean, he's been dominating, trying to become the back-to-back champ in the SNB Cup Series, and I think he's got to be the odds-on favorite, the High 5 Racing Machine number 8 of Braxton DeWeese.
We're going to go side by side. You do not miss a thing. We're underway in stage number 2. About to wrap it up here in stage 2. Ready for a shootout at Nashville. The All-Star Race presented by Blitz Racing Network. The SNB Cup Series on LSRTV. Your home for sim racing when we return.
Every customer, every single time, needs to get our very best. From moment one, my goal managing a team here in the dealership is to make sure that that customer's experience is the very best that they've ever had. We expect and demand total transparency. There should never be a time in that transaction where the customer is wondering or not quite sure of what they're buying or what they're paying or those sorts of things. And having that transparency and doing things the right way is super important.
And again, don't forget, the Tom Denchel Automotive Group will have coverage from Knoxville. The Tom Denchel Automotive Group sponsoring the Northwest iRacing Truck Series from Knoxville on the dirt, baby. Should be a good one tonight. The good one, the All-Star Wednesday Night Thunder. We've got the SNB Cup Series here tonight at Nashville. Trucks at Knoxville. It's the Ville, baby. And right now, Thomas Fisher is leading the way. Ross Tatum is second. DeWeese now getting some company from Packard. This going on the racetrack. And actually, that's Rob Sherwood and more green flag tops as well. Here comes Ross Tatum in. Braxton DeWeese is in, lap 54.
Yeah, again, these are the mandatory green flag pit stops these drivers have to make during stage 2. You have to take 4 tires. Gas is optional, but I would recommend to take fuel just in case a late caution waves. But leading the drivers that have already pitted, that is Matt Dyer, who's going to be trying to be the driver to have the best track position late for our final 15-lap stint for our 3rd and final stage that these drivers are trying to aim for. As Altis goes a little bit wide, here comes Sherwood also into pit road.
And subconsciously, your brother is doing good as well. Got a good run going for him inside the top 10, number 88.
Yeah, he came into pit road 3 laps after the first initial 5 drivers that came into pit road, and it's looking like that might be a decent strategy for himself to be up in the top 5 late in this race. The longer you wait for these drivers, though, got to be concerned that you're not going to have enough time to really utilize the tires that you have. Now into pit road going to be Chris Smith leading. Now we're left with only 3 drivers still to pit. Fisher, Packard, and also that of Madigan have to make a green flag pit stop here before stage 2 comes to a close.
Inside, here comes Ross Tatum sideways. Dirt tracking it for a moment. Your brother, Matt Dyer. Boy, what a save. He lost a little momentum there as Tatum will clear him. And
oh no, yellow.
On. Oh, caution is
out.
Wow.
DeWeese all on his own through 1 and 2. Spins out, dumps his car.
He just pitted.
Yeah, and almost took out Logan Brakey.
Wow. Well, let's watch what happened to the 8. Braxton DeWeese back on track after pitting. The 8 machine from Ohio. The current points leader, the all-time winner of the series, last year's points champion. Whoopsie, goes around. Look at this, Samuel. Into the wall.
Ooh, a little bit of scare there for that of Logan Brakey and Tom Bourne and others, and got to be nerve-wracking when you got drivers like that.
Right on board with the number 8 machine. Let's see what it's like inside the cockpit for Braxton DeWeese. What it was like just a moment ago as we continue with an extended Pulse Popper instant replay. Pulse Popper's Fishing Lures, proud sponsor of our replays on your home for sim racing. Samuel, very interesting camera angle for Braxton DeWeese here.
Yeah, you're going to see his hands there on the left. This is going to be the key coming into these corners. And Braxton, he's going to be off the gas, but because he has on fresh tires, he tries to get on the throttle too early, and it gets the car turning too much and overcorrection into the wall.
I was going to say that. It looked like just from that view right there, great work by Charles Wood in the production chair for the replay with our camera crew. It looked like he literally had the understeer, then he fought the car coming off the exit of the corner, then he was like, if you will, dirt tracking it like Knoxville tonight, and then he turned and he overturned, and when he oversteered the car, he lost control of it.
Yeah, that's just all throttle control, and you got to be patient on when you want to get back onto the throttle. Even with fresh tires, you can't be on the throttle immediately. You kind of have to wait until you're 3/4 through the corner before you can get onto the gas, and Braxton DeWeese just got onto it too soon, and this is one of those mental focus moments where you got to be mentally aware of how your car's going to react at almost all times, and a mistake by our champ, but Braxton DeWeese, we're not afraid to see him cut his way through the field, but he's got to be feeling a little bit nervous now. No more fast repairs for this 8, unless he's trying to save it, which there's a chance these drivers might be thinking about saving it for later on, and that's exactly what Braxton's doing here.
Remember, caution laps do not count. We're on lap number 56 of... This would be a 65 if you're counting the tally total of 80 laps. Stage number 2, and then we have a 15-lap shootout forthcoming for these drivers. Again, driving 2013 Cup cars. Real quickly, while we're still under yellow, let's give a rundown of virtue of the drivers that are in this race. Obviously, Caleb Smith, Dover winner, season 2. Thomas Fisher, the 92, he was the Road America winner here back on season 3. Tom Bourne was the Indy pole winner. Joshua Altis, a 6-time winner. Spencer Hardison, 4-time winner. Altis also the inaugural series champion. Kevin Martin, Daytona pole winner of season 3. Keenan Massey, Texas pole winner of season 2. Ross Tatum, a 3-time winner of the series. Joey Stone, a Bristol winner, although he's not here tonight. Rob Sherwood, who joined us in the broadcast earlier, a 2-time winner. Christian Gardner, Kansas pole winner of season 3. Tyler Stooksbury not here, but again, he's a New Hampshire pole winner of season 2. Matt Dyer, your brother, Texas winner of season 2 last year. Matt Gilliams, a 5-time winner in 28, but he's not with us. Braxton DeWeese, 10-time winner, all-time winner of the series, defending all-star winner, and he is also the defending Cup Series champion. That's how we narrowed it down to the cars that are in the all-star race this year, Samuel.
Yeah, and those wins that were rolled off, those are all-time wins. So the driver's certainly showing, especially for that at Braxton DeWeese, he knows how to get it done. And like you've been saying with Altus, he's fast. He's got a lot of wins in this series, but he's looking for a win here. Hopefully tonight. We do have our first DNF of the night. That's going to be Christian Gardner, the 7. No longer going to be having a shot to win and get himself some cash. Again, these drivers running for $165 to the winner here of the All-Star race. And it might not be millions like the actual NASCAR race, but still a good chunk of change for these drivers. Almost half of what the championship driver is going to be earning once you get later on in the season.
Shootout time. Coming up once we complete these final 10 laps, under 10 to go in stage number 2. And while we're under the caution, let's check in on our other colleague on the driver analyst spot, Rob Sherwood. Rob, Wesley, LSRTV, you got a copy, man?
Hey, Wesley, I got you.
Oh, you're in 5th. You're in 5th. What's your take of the race so far?
Not sure, honestly.
That seems fair. It seems like it's chaotic out there with the cautions not counting. It seems like drivers a little bit confused on what's going on.
Yeah, iRacing, for some reason, the system, I guess maybe it's just not used to doing it this way. So we are trying to figure that out now. But it's a lot of confusion, as you can tell.
It looks like they are waving the green flag, and you guys are on a protest saying, hell no, we won't go.
Yeah, just trying to make sure everybody's lined up correctly right here.
So, again, hopefully nobody takes off and acts like hooligans. We are trying to get the lineup correct here. Now, caution laps are not supposed to count. Am I correct, Rob?
Correct, yes, and I think that's where some of the confusion is coming in, because we're gonna come down pit road and pause everything right now, and yeah, we're gonna do that now. So I will get back with you guys in just a minute, if that's okay.
All right, buddy. We'll let you get back down there and figure something out. It's got some little hiccups going on in the All-Star race, and that's Rob Sherwood. But again, we are getting ready, and this is for the second time, Samuel, in my broadcast career with LSRTV. The field will be coming down to pit lane, as we are going to go under what looks like will be a red flag condition in efforts of trying to figure out what in the blue blazes are going on here in the All-Star race at Nashville.
Yeah, everyone is trying to figure this out. I think there are some drivers that are going to be put in some very odd scenarios, but red flagging it so everyone is placed in the right spots. Again, we're supposed to be having that of Thomas Fisher and that of Brockton Packard, and also that of Madigan, who are going to have to make a mandatory green flag pit stop. But coming into pit road, drivers are going to be trying to reset, get themselves into better spots, which also means that some drivers are going to be put in kind of a disadvantage here for the drivers that pitted, and we're seeing everyone come to a stop. Hopefully they don't make any contact. You don't want to get yourself in any more tricky spots, as see Packard and that of Fisher a little bit too close, but giving each other plenty of space.
So again, we are going under what will be the red flag, trying to get the lineup corrected is what we are being told. Understanding that in another one too, I believe we're having an issue not only with that, but Samuel, we're also, I think they were saying something about the lap counter. The lap counter is trying to count more cars than, or count more caution laps, if you will. My apologies.
Yeah, I mean, the issue right now is the fact that when there is no caution laps being counted, it puts iRacing in kind of a fluky spot where they've got to make sure that the drivers are in that spot for that lap. So when you've got drivers coming into pit road, when laps aren't counting, it kind of jumbles up how the ticker is trying to communicate to iRacing and the ticker, and also confusion for the drivers because the caution came out in the middle of drivers trying to make their pit stops. So usually when we're under yellow, drivers will get a wave around to get back on the lead lap, but because of the mandatory pit stop, everyone else was stuck a lap down except for our top three, which kind of confused everyone on where they were supposed to be because of that wave around that everyone gets. So still a little bit of confusion, but the drivers are trying to figure out that they're in the right spots. Again, it's going to be Thomas Fisher, Brockton Packard, and Madigan. They're going to be our top three. Everyone else that's a lap down, though, they're still also confused on where they're supposed to be under this pit stop. But it looks like our red flag might be coming to a close as drivers are getting green and getting back out there.
Yeah, red flag has been rescinded. Caution flag is back out. Josh Altus, what's going on out there?
I'll tell you what, Wesley, this is wild. So the biggest problem we're having right now is because the caution laps do not count, whenever the cautions are thrown, if wherever the drivers are on track, it's counting them on that lap. So pretty much it's putting half the field where they're a lap down where they shouldn't be. Basically, just the scoring is getting all jumbled up because of the caution laps not counting, putting people on different laps and whatnot. So we're working on trying to get everything figured out right here.
Definitely interesting for sure. Yeah.
Hey, I mean, credit to you guys on the admin team for trying to get everything sorted, as this is a very complicated situation that comes out here. Again, we're still waiting on 3 more drivers to make their mandatory green flag pit stop before lap 65. And I'm wondering, Josh, if they don't get that mandatory pit stop in, is there a penalty that will be given to those 3 drivers?
Yeah, I mean, they're going to have to come back to pit road once we get green here, so.
Here, we're listening to some of the communication here. And I was just hearing it on your end, Josh. And have we ever... Did this happen in the All-Star race last year? Pace car is coming out. All right, so the caution's out. So what are we trying to do? Freeze the field to get everybody caught back up on the lead lap? Is that what's going on, Josh?
Yeah, hey, Wesley, I'll have to come back to you guys. We're trying to figure this out. I got too many people talking to me at once.
Oh, okay, buddy. All right.
Which is completely fair enough. We should not be dragging in admins into the booth, but you know, Wesley wants to talk to people. Let Wesley talk to them.
Yeah, well, I mean, they offered, they rendered their services earlier. They were like, hey, we're available.
When there's not a complete debacle going on. It's like,
hey,
code red, there's something going on. Hey, I would like to know, would you like your coffee black or would you like it with creamer? I know that the world's ending, but, you know, this is very important for tomorrow.
This is utter chaos, and I think that's the perfect time you start poking the bear and say, what happened? What happened? What's going on? What's going on? So, yeah. No, I digress. I'm sorry. Yeah, my apologies. Oh, well.
Again, even the drivers are still in a chaos, but we're thinking that we might have everything sorted out. Kind of. We'll wait and see if we're able to get back green as still admins trying to make sure everyone is set in the right positions before we go green again. So the yellow had to be thrown. And now everyone clearing out what positions they're supposed to be in. But, you know, this is what kind of comes out with these all-star races. You never know what's going to happen, but we're excited for those final 15 laps where it's just going to be a dogfight.
And remember, we still have another stage left. We still have the shootout coming up. It's not over yet.
Nope. That's going to be from lap 65 to the end. The driver is going to be putting on tires if they want them. and trying to really, it's we saw it kind of during the open race. Drivers got a little bit too frisky for themselves, bringing out a lot of yellows, and drivers have a fast repair. There, it is going to be used during that final third stage of the race. As we're still in stage 2, we're still waiting for that of Thomas Fisher, Brockton Packard, and also that of Joseph Madigan. They are going to have to pit when we go green, which is going to be putting them back in. Wondering how drivers are going to be put back a lap down, as I believe the whole entire field was a lap down except for those top 3. So still a little bit of confusion on where drivers are going to be set here, as his drivers might be coming to a stop here again to make sure everyone's in their right spots.
Welcome you back to coverage. And well, they're stopping cars again.
Yeah, so here's what's going on. There's a lot of mistakes going on with the server. So drivers have just been notified they're going to be backing out, restarting this session. So this is a lot longer than we were expecting, but this is we might have to take a break here. We might have to come back to this in a bit.
So are we starting the race entirely over again, or are we just going to go back from lap like 58 to 80, which would basically be like what
it sounds like they're gonna be backing out, making a new session that is gonna be a 30-lap shootout that's gonna go down, as they are gonna be trying to reset the server and get everything sorted for themselves.
Well. So a quick break. We return. A musical interlude. Jam's playing. Hope you enjoy it. The red flag. We're gonna reset them here. The All-Star race at Nashville. Want to jump in here and let everybody know what's going on. Lap number 58 in stage number 2, there was some server issues with the lineup and timing and scoring in the rundown for the All-Star race. For that reason, the race is going to be reset. Samuel Dyer, we're now going to have a 35-lap shootout for the winner take all, and the lineup will be set from the end of stage 1.
Yeah, the starting grid's going to have Ross Tatum, Joshua Altis, Fisher, Martin, and that of Sherwood, your top 5 starting out for this restart. And drivers are excited. Still looking like the drivers are going to have a fast period to work with, as well as the caution laps are going to count when they reset. So the field, they're trying to get excited here, but some drivers upset on where they're going to be placed on this restart. But hey, if you're fast, you'll find a way to get up front.
Yeah, I think so. I think we will definitely see something of that magnitude when we get back to green flag action here. As, again, we had an issue with, not sure how it went down. But pretty much we did, and we are at least back going to reset things, if you will. And I think we're going to see ourselves one hell of a finish for this All-Star race. Really do.
Oh, yeah. I mean, drivers, hopefully they're recognizing that even when we restart this race, that first lap, the drivers are going to be dealing with a very slick car, and also it's going to be very different from the last time they were on track, because it was starting from going from dusk to that of nighttime, and now I'm wondering how the drivers are going to be reacting to the track. Might be a little bit hotter than what they were used to, which means it's going to be slicker, not as much grip, and I'm expecting cautions in that first lap or two, kind of like what we saw for the All-Star Open race.
Yes. Oh, that's a really good song, actually, by the way. Actually, Billy. We'll rest our voice because we have a good jingle playing right now. I like it, actually. Yeah. Just want to give you a heads up and let you know what's going on. We'll be back to a restart here very soon from Nashville in the 21 All-Star race for the SNB Cup Series.
We're based out of West Monroe, Louisiana. We do custom T-shirts, racing. We'll do any shirt. We'll do schools, churches, fundraisers. We do a ton of event shirts, as you can see on our board here, all around our banner. Personalized. I mean, we'll do anything. It doesn't matter to us. We got the custom rugs. We use all the, top quality shirts, inks and everything. Hoodies, hats. We do embroidered hats, embroidered shirts. Just you can call us for anything. We do offer the bag and fold, to where you can receive them and they're already labeled and tagged and bagged, ready to give out to your customer and stuff. So you can just call us and just tell us, hey, this is what we're looking at doing, and if we're going to put the car on there, it is 125 quantity minimum. If it's without the car, it's 60 quantity minimum. That's strictly on the racing stuff. If it's a business or something, if you race on Texas shirts, it's a little bit differently. You can call us. It just depends on your quantity and ink color. Everything is hand drawn. I mean, everything. We don't Photoshop anything onto a shirt or anything like that. Everything that we go through, everything is drawn, and which is the reason for the art fees. We do have several graphic artists that draw for us, and they're really good. So what we do is on any package that you do, we can mix and match. We can do any colors. You can do purple, red, blue, green, and do the rest black. It doesn't matter to us. With your design on there, we can do hoodies. We can do hoodies, long sleeve shirts, T-shirts, tank tops. It doesn't matter. I mean, it's almost limitless what you can do, and you can put all that together in that package to make that minimum requirements. They can call us 318-278-7191, or they can email us at bulletprooftees@yahoo.com, or they can go to the website bulletprooftees.com.
Look at that!
Look how wide that deer is.
Oh my god. Oh my god. He's down. He's down. Hold him up first, huh? You hold him up? Son, what do you think about that? Give me some kick, buddy. Excited? After me.
Welcome back to coverage, and we are set rock and roll. For an update of what went wrong, here is one of the series directors of the SNB Cup Series, Rob Sherwood. I throw you to the Wolves. Are you there, Rob?
Yeah, sorry guys. I was in Discord, not TeamSpeak. I'm here. Apologies for the confusion. This is the first time that we have run no caution laps. So iRacing just got a little bit messed up. We had some guys get impatient, ask for waiver rounds. It kind of messed things up. And so the scoring loop just got all out of whack. So basically what we did was we went back and we took the order from the end of the first caution, so the end of the first stage, and we just relined the order that way. And what we're going to do is we're going to do 35 green flag laps for a shootout. There's no gimmicks. Caution laps do count. And we have 3 attempts at a green, white, checkered if necessary. Other than that, it's hopefully going to be pretty straightforward from here. Fingers crossed.
Or we could do like Knoxville last week and try to do 4 attempts. I mean,
is this worse than Knoxville? It's starting to feel that way.
Yeah, we'll just put unlimited attempts, and we'll be here until our next broadcast.
That's what we're here for. We're just here to keep you entertained. Leave out the dead period.
And again, on behalf of everybody, it's the SNB Cup Series, Appalachian Hauler Hunters, and LSRTV. We apologize for the delay. I mean, this is not something we planned, but we just got to shake the cobwebs off, reset, and go again. That's exactly what we're going to do, Samuel. It should be a wild 35 laps coming up here.
35 laps, and there is money on the line, as there's going to be $165 for the winner here in this 35-lap shootout. It built up, but practically we had 2 races to set up for this moment, where we've got some drivers that are hungry to get a win, drivers that are favorites that now have a shot here, and for a lot of the drivers out here, kind of a second shot for some of them, as that of Christian Gardner. He was out of the race before this reset. With the reset, the 7's back into the mix of things.
He's back. Joshua, just your take of the All-Star race so far and what we're going to see here, you think up?
Oh, Josh left.
Josh left. He said, leave me the hell alone, Wesley. I'm back to work again. There you go. It's him's fault. So, I got you. Okay. No grid. No grid. I've been told no grid. We could still give Tim 126 Racing some love, him, and give him the starting lineup. I mean, you know, team. I said Team 126 Racing is what I said. All right, Samuel, we're having our first argument with him. You can't hear him. You said.
You know, it took all night. I'm happy we finally got there.
No music. It doesn't sound no good without music. Play the music. Okay, take it away.
Well, we tried.
By the way, people are thinking like we're just literally at war with each other. We're not. We're just playing.
I'm just here so I don't get fined over, ladies and gentlemen. That's why I'm here.
That's why Charles is bald, and I'm 37 years old, a lot older than him, and still have hair.
No, the one that's bald is the 88. Matt Zier got Mr. Clean on that machine, as he's going to be shimmering and shining his way through. He's one of the faster drivers coming
like that
tonight.
Plug there, shimmering and shining. Well, it's obvious that's your brother.
Oh no, I make fun of him all the time. He makes fun of himself. I mean, Chrome Dome's doing his best out there.
They called him Chrome Dome. Oh my goodness. Well, we're ready to settle this here. The field is pacing.
I mean, Matt's going to be starting back in the 3rd row. We'll see if he can be like a bald eagle and fly through this field and get up front. But I don't know if Mr. Baldy's going to do so, as they're getting set up. It's time to go, Wesley.
After an almost 30-minute delay, the All-Star race is now a 35-lap shootout, winner-take-all. Here they come back to the Geico restart zone. Green in the air. They're in the gas. And we're ready to decide who's going to bring home the money in the Music City.
Drivers up front certainly are going to be aggressive, as Fisher immediately wants to be up front. Thomas Fisher, one of the vocal leaders of trying to not be angry, but they're already wrecking, and it's already toast.
No, trouble.
Papa Smith,
No. Oh my goodness. It's D. Smith, Father Smith, Papa Smith, the Caleb Smith, and the yellow is out. Remember, caution laps do count. We're understanding that the 55 is a new driver. 4 wide. It was kind of like a Ricky Stenhouse move there, if you will. Wow.
Yeah, Papa Smith's going to come down, clip in front of Tom Bourne. He's going to give him the bumper, and up he goes. Christian Gardner comes back, has a second shot at this, and then also in front of them, it's just a mingled mess. There's the 2 of Logan Brakey, who had his own mix-up after that incident. But you got to be wondering for some of these drivers further back. Tom Bourne, one of the favorites coming in, but he had such a poor end of stage 1 that he got the bad qualifying position for himself. And it looked like a little bit of other drivers in front of Logan Brakey that got him out of sorts. But luckily, he only grazed the front bumper, so the 2 should be all right. But for the 7 and the 55, Pit Road's going to be their best friend coming in, as well as Tom Bourne, trying to get service for themselves.
And I got to wonder here now, Samuel, we saw a caution right at the start. Do you think we're going to see this here for this 35-lap sprint? My goodness.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we've got some favorites that are further back in the field that have to get aggressive. You got Caleb Smith, who's very quick on the short run, as well as that of Madigan, who is going to be quick. They're both back in 9th and 10th position. You got Tom Bourne, who was one of the fastest drivers during practice and also during the practice races these drivers tried to put down yesterday. That 54 team now going to be back in 16th. We'll see if he can get any repairs done and make sure he's quick and up front. But I think late here for only a 35-lap sprint, the drivers that I've got up front that are my favorites to pick, Ross Tatum. I think whenever it comes down to late racing, he's always a clutch driver there, as well as Braxton DeWeese is going to be in 6th place. Those two drivers are my favorites, but you never know what Thomas Fisher, our Road America winner, road course show off that. We'll see if he's got any showing here for the oval side of things at Nashville Superspeedway.
And remember, hang with us coming up here later tonight when this race ends. Whenever it ends, we'll have coverage of the Northwest iRacing Truck Series, and presented by Tom Denchel Automotive Group. It will be on the dirt at Knoxville. And finally, and I kept up with this, finally, Greg will be in the booth with Samuel and I, and he will call a dirt race for LSRTV. He has never announced an iRacing dirt event. That changes, Samuel, tonight. We know how fun the dirt races are.
Oh, they are a mess to see, but always great. And especially here in Knoxville, it's going to be a blast. I mean, last time we saw the trucks on a dirt course was Bristol Dirt earlier in the season. I'm wondering how those Northwest Truck Series guys are going to do here tonight. Completely different beast, not as much banking, but certainly enough dirt to sling.
And we will get ready for a restart. Now remember, for this event, because of the reset, caution laps do count.
Yeah, caution laps count. These drivers have a time limit if they continue to bring out caution after caution. 50 minutes on the clock unless we can finish out these 35 laps.
Oh, wow. That'll make things interesting. Field to the Geico restart zone. Green flag back in the air. The All-Star race. They pull back away into turn number 1. Give the whole shot to Thomas Fisher. Back pulling away. Tatum, Altus, they're all in that battle. Back to 1.
Moving forward, got to be watching out for Ross Tatum. He's so quick, especially once we get into these late showings. Halfway, expect to see the 21 making his move for the lead, but up to 4th, Matt Dyer. He started in 6th when we restarted this race. He's now up to 4th, and the question for a lot of these guys was how well could you save your tires to set up for the end of this run? If this race goes green, watch out for the 88 or the driver behind him, the 8 of Braxton DeWeese.
Back straightaway into 3. There they go at speed.
One single filed out until we drop back to 7th place. That's where we find Madigan, as well as that of Sherwood. They're side by side, and Sherwood finally able to make that clean pass. But our top 5 all in line trying to pull away. Kevin Martin, who really wasn't a threat during the All-Star race, but he's now up to 6th place. A little bit of contact being made for 7th. Madigan as well as Sherwood, got to be careful. You also got that of Caleb Smith, Packard. They're mixed in this, and also our All-Star Open winner back in 11th place. A little bit of a pack growing there.
At speed into turn number 3. Working their way back around. Back straightaway now.
Oh boy, I think they're
Gardner, Christian Gardner. Well, is that no? That's Martin and Alta and DeWeese battling here.
Yeah, a little bit of a scary moment for 2 drivers. The 24 and the 2 both blinking at the same time, and it both cost both drivers massive on time. They're now back to 11th and 12th, still duking it out with Tom Bourne right behind them, and hoping that they don't get any contact. But still some scary, hard racing for these drivers. Still, side by side, this is the battle for 9th place. Rob Sherwood and Evan Coleman.
4th position, Coleman, the All-Star Open winner, down to the inside. All that goes on. Your leader, Thomas Fisher. Tatum in second. Altus, Dyer, DeWeese, top 5. That's the way they stand. If you're just joining us, whoa, car bouncing off the wall. I think it was Coleman.
Oh, that was Matt Dyer, the 88, getting off the wall and luckily able to keep on going. But that backs up DeWeese, also Martin, who now have to regroup, build up that speed again, and hope that they can gain back. They're over a half a second back from third place, being led by Matt Dyer.
As Samuel called him, the Chrome Dome. Getting in the wall there.
Fisher is looking good, but he is being so aggressive on these tires and putting down lap times that are making me feel like he might burn these tires off in the next 4 laps or so, which is going to give Ross Tatum and Altus a great shot to rebound, come back past the 92. This was kind of exactly what we saw during the first stage of the All-Star race that cost that Fisher of winning stage 1, put him so far back into third position. And I'll watch for Ross Tatum, Altus. They are quick late in this run, and you know they're going to be favorites later on in this thing. Braxton DeWeese, Dyer, they've been playing the patient game for most of the All-Star race, but DeWeese now getting underneath 88.
35 laps or 50 minutes. There is a time limit on this race right now.
Oh, Dyer hard into the outside wall and into other traffic. Contact him and Kevin Martin. We stay green as there's the caution waving now.
Caution out for Chrome Dome and the brother of Samuel Dyer, Matt Dyer. He lost it on the front straightaway. Back to Samuel Dyer for what happened to his brother.
Yeah, he's just going to come off of turn number 4 and it just gets a little bit too wide. Braxton DeWeese and Dyer both get a little loose. Dyer into the wall, but then he's going to come back and get kind of tail slapped by the 79 of Magnan. And Madigan just trying to get by the 88, but a tail slap you'll see here from the 79 hits Dyer, launches him back into the outside wall. Well, now it's the question. We're getting close to halfway through.
For a fast repair, I believe.
Yeah, I would imagine so. We're still waiting to see if Tom Bourne's going to use a fast repair or even that of Chris Smith. Expecting Dyer to do so, but we're getting close to halfway. Drivers might think about making their pit stops if you're up front because tires are so important, but that's just going to be a hard decision for some of these guys if they want to, as it looks like Fisher.
Wow, he made a fake! Oh, wow! What an audible! Thomas Fisher just played an audible on everyone, and he stays out!
Oh, that's a terrible call. I don't know why Fisher would not come in. Having the tires would be so important. The thing that scared me, though, is he came back across that of Ross Tatum, almost gave damage to the 21 that could have been dramatic late in this race. Don't want to get damage when you're up front, especially on just a silly mistake that would have been Fisher deking back and forth.
Could we see that on replay again? Holy cow. The way he came down, I mean, I got you. Well, Tatum came in second. He pitted with everybody that pitted. He pitted first. He'll come out first. Boy, oh boy, I think he might want to come after Fisher as well, Samuel, on the restart.
Yeah, Fisher and Gardner both decided to stay out, but for that of Ross Tatum, he kind of has now put the 92 and the 7 in kind of a poor spot. They're going to be sitting ducks here, but when you've got drivers that are going to be about a second off of the drivers on fresher tires, it is just going to be a realm of caution, you know, just hovering over everyone else, knowing that, you know, slower drivers getting in the way. We've seen Fisher and Gardner both get aggressive at times. We'll see if they're going to be willing to just give up their positions or if they're going to fight for them for everything that they've got.
And you got to remember, Christian Gardner was out of this race. He was done. When we had to reset, it put him right back in the catbird seat again.
Yeah, we get him back in here, but you get a second shot. This is just an interesting call, but if we get an early caution, this could be a great move by both Fisher and Gardner here. Which, for that of Gardner, he's put in such a tough spot. Going to be on the outside. Older tires. Got to hope that he doesn't get any wheel spin. These cars have a lot of horsepowers under them. High horsepower, low downforce. We've seen a lot of drivers getting loose, out of shape coming out of these corners. Wouldn't be surprised. Fresh tires. Who's going to make a mistake here going into turn number 1?
Christian Gardner made it into the All-Star race by virtue of getting the pole at Kansas couple of weeks ago, and in doing so joins this all-star field of former all-star race winners, pole winners, race winners, and champions in the 2021 SNB Cup Series all-star race presented by Blitz Racing Network. In the final stage, Shootout close it in on 20 to go. They're back to the whip in turn 1.
There's Gardner.
He got it to Gardner. Gardner goes around. Caution.
Oh no, Brockton Packard contact with the outside wall.
Wow. Knew it was going to happen. Cold tires versus new tires. What do you think, Samuel?
It looks like it was some net code. Altus was trying to get around the 7 as fast as possible, but I think some net code might have shot the 7 to get him sideways. But with it being up front, in front of the whole entire field, chaos ensued with drivers trying to scatter, not to make contact. But we'll see here, entering turn number 1, you're going to see the 94 try to duck low and going to be so close. Saw a little bit of contact. Gardner tried to defend, and that's old tires against new.
Was that your brother that went high?
That was, I believe, Brockton Packard that got himself in trouble going high.
Well, I don't think he got in trouble, but he went up to the top of the wall there. Well, he did get in trouble. Holy cow.
I said that he got into the wall, and exactly what happened to the 24 just got clipped.
That is not hashtag fake news. He got in the wall. Let's see this for Packard in 24.
It's probably going to be the best getting an onboard. You're going to see his wheels and seeing how he tried to hold on to this thing.
Nowhere to go. Nowhere to go. Oh, Packard. And he lost it and put it in the fence on his own. Wow. Good news is he's got a FR, fast repair, coming up, Samuel.
Yeah, and you're going to have that Gardner and Packard both going back, and Fisher, who was the other driver as well as Gardner that stayed out. Fisher's now going to be coming into pit road, going to have at least one lap of non-green flag racing. This could be an advantage to the 92 that could help him win this race if the race stays green, but I'm going to be completely honest. There's a lot. This is all-star racing. This is all-star racing. There's no points on the line, and this is the best scenario, best stage to get some type of revenge on some drivers. I know there's a lot of heated drivers throughout this season. I know Tom Bourne, Thomas Fisher, they had their bickering battles that went on early in the season, and I know Thomas Fisher has made a lot of enemies, and I don't think anyone's going to give him any space cutting through traffic.
Now let's check in on Josh Altus. Says you just saw he was by that caution just a moment ago, or at least kind of got into Christian Gardner. Joshua, what's your take of what happened in the cockpit? Your car okay?
Yeah, I knew I had to get by that front row as soon as possible because Thomas and Christian both stayed out. So I knew it was going to be a race between me and Ross to see who could get out in front. So I got a run on Christian, and I went under him. And I don't know, I guess I got into him. I'll take a look at it. But from my point of view, it looked like I was to his inside. So I don't know if there's some net code involved or if I hit his quarter or what, but feel bad for him, obviously, but thankful that Thomas Fisher pitted there to hand us the lead here. So we'll see if we can hang on for 15 laps and get us one.
And now you got Tatum along to your inside, and obviously DeWeese had some problems. Now he's right back in the hunt of things.
Yeah, I was looking at my scoring there, and I saw DeWeese was up to third, so that's a big reason why I took the top here. Just have to get a good restart, and I'd love for DeWeese and Tatum to get to battling, and then I can drive away. But we'll see what happens. I'm sure there's going to be some more cautions here.
Hey, I got a question, and we'll let you go. Who come up with the idea of having the car numbers and the names on the side of the rears? Like the way they are. That looks pretty damn cool.
Yeah, that's big shout out to Evan Coleman. He's really creative with that. So he told us all to get a nickname, and He did a good job with those schemes.
All right. Go get him. Ready to come back to the Geico restart zone. That is Joshua Altus giving his take of everything right now as he is currently sitting in the position of the lead after Fisher pitted. Green flag back in the air. Under 20 laps to go. 18 remaining. They're back to the gas in turn number 1. Altus on the point in 1.
Side by side for third place. That's going to be that of Madigan and also Deweese. Hard racing between those two, and this is exactly what Altus wanted. Wanted to try to get away from the other drivers. Ross Tatum just going to be lingering behind. So drivers to watch out for. Evan Coleman, he's up to 5th. Our All-Star Open winner. He's now making a charge forward. Also Tom Bourne, he's got some damage on that 54, but he's moving forward as well.
Shades of what we could see driver like Michael Waltrip did in the 1996 edition of the Winston for the All-Star race for NASCAR, where he won the All-Star Open, had to race his way in, and he went on to win the All-Star race. We could see that happen here tonight for the driver of the number 51, Evan Coleman, the All-Star Open winner. He sits in a nice, comfortable position. They all stay down to the inside. One car sideways. Whoa, what a
Kevin
save.
Martin.
Under 15 to go.
Kevin Martin able to hold on, but now he's got Matt Dyer as well as some others trying to figure out how to get by Sherwood. But I do want to make a correction. Tom Bourne did use his fast repair, so he's got a cleaned up car trying to make a move. But the battle for second place, almost 3 wide racing going on as Altus, he loses the lead to Tatum, and now Altus got to be care of Deweese and Madigan.
Madigan reels in Deweese. Deweese trying to reel back in. Also, the machine of Altus as Ross Tatum goes to the point. 12 laps to go in the All-Star race. They're back to turn number 1 and 2. They were single file. Now they're 2x2. It's Madigan and Deweese battling for to the back straightaway.
The battle for third continues to loom on. You got to wonder when Altus is going to be trying to make his pounce back for the win. Driver to give note, just moved back into the top 10. Thomas Fisher, newest of all tires out here on track. We'll see if the 92 has enough time to cut his way up through the field. It just looks like it might be a little bit too far for Thomas Fisher to win this race.
And for right now, Dane down to the inside, holding his line, working that way, down the back straightaway. Tatum, Altus, here they go. Up the outside, here comes Altus, side by side for the lead in the All-Star race out of 3.
Altus, he's trying his best to make it to the outside. Drivers, he's going to get a little bit loose. Close to the outside. Whoa, and now he's back into it.
He's in the wall.
Altus is coming back across the line. Oh, no.
Altus spinning, slamming into the wall, down to the infield grass. No caution yet. No caution yet. Will we see the yellow flag? It has not waved. No caution. What a heartbreak for the inaugural series champion, Joshua Altus, in the penthouse. Now the outhouse, and he has lost Ross the Boss as he comes to the line, coming up to 10 remaining.
A little bit more than a half a second back. That's where we find Braxton Deweese and also that of Madigan. Both these drivers looking for a chance to win this race over Ross Tatum. Madigan, one of our open drivers, the furthest up of all the open drivers that won. He got his way in by being in the top 4 to advance into this All-Star race. He's trying to win the $165 cash prize that's on the line here tonight.
Big money in the Music City, and right now the Boss is out in front, taking everybody to school. Ross the Boss Tatum leads the way in that 21 machine. Second spot now is going to be the driver closing in of Braxton Deweese, defending Cup Series champion, the all-time winner. He's in second. Madigan, what a run for him. The pole car in the All-Star Open is third as they go to the backstretch to 3.
And then you fall back to 4th place. That's where we find Tom Bourne, who has just been having misfortune over misfortune, still looking for a win, and also having slight blinking issues he's got to be careful of for the 54. But he cleaned up his car. He was caught up in the first wreck here in this little 35-lap shootout. He's going to need a lot of help if he wants to get up front. But within 1.2 seconds, Tom Bourne, he's probably the furthest back that has a shot to win this.
Back straightaway, turn 3, Madigan. Along with Bourne, they're in there to the inside. Madigan Motorsports, CEM Motorsports battling for third. While that goes on, Deweese trying to run down, hunt his prey. His leader is Ross the Boss Tatum. Side by side. Down.
Oh, Madigan board contact with one another.
Whoa. Wow, and they hold it. They save it.
I don't know what's going on with Madigan right there, but that was a very sketchy move. He's going to come down and pinch once again, which he might make contact similar to what he just did with Tom Bourne through 1 and 2. Madigan just took out the fastest driver and now giving damage back to the 54, which he was hoping he wouldn't have. Tom had a fast car that was going to win this race, it looked like, and it looks like now he's just going to limp his way to a top 3.
He sits in that 3rd position right now. A lot of damage when he was battling Madigan for that spot. Now Madigan and Coleman having a little match amongst themselves there for 4th and 5th. While that goes on, Tatum and DeWeese are pulling away. 5 under 5. Now make it 4. Laps to go. 1 car is off the wall. Exiting off turn 4. Will still stay green. No, they're cracking. They're crashing. They're crashing off turn 4. That's Logan Brake. Nowhere to go. Caution is out with 4 to go in the All-Star race here at Nashville.
Yeah, Logan Brakey going to be coming out of 4, but the car that got into the wall earlier, that was Caleb Smith being absolutely thrown into the outside wall by Thomas Fisher, but we'll see what happened to the 2 here.
We'll watch the replay.
Going to be going through 3 and 4.
Samuel, with this caution, it gives new life possibly to Joshua Alts to get back in this fight.
Oh, he's just going to get on the throttle too soon, overcorrect, and around Logan Brakey goes. And with the timing of this caution, are you ready for some overtime racing there, Wesley?
I knew it was going to happen.
I think everyone did.
Yeah, I knew it was going to happen.
Who's thinking about coming into pit road? I don't think anyone is, but what a shot this could be.
I believe you're going to see a couple of guys come down to the pits and take on new tires.
I mean,
it's the All-Star race. You've got nothing left to lose. To come down, get new fresh sides of rubber, and rally back to the front, rocket to the front. Faster tires, new tires are faster than old tires.
Oh, if I was third on back, I would have came back, but it's going to be our top 3.
Here they come.
Out. Ooh, a couple of more drivers. Thomas Fisher leading this next group, as well as that. Oh, man.
And you're about to see here in a few moments the reason why new tires are better than old tires right here. Because if we can get enough of a good run on the green, I know it's a short stint, Samuel, but those drivers with those faster tires, the new tires, are going to chew them up and spit them out.
Logan Brakey's going to be staying out with that of Papa Smith. He'll stay in 7th. Eden Massey, Thomas Fisher. And I'm going to let the audience know right now, Thomas Fisher is not winning this race. I think he's got a couple of drivers in front of him that are willing to ruin their race to make sure that the 92 doesn't win.
Yes.
I mean, this is what happens when these money races. If you make enemies during the regular season,
is that what you're thinking? He made enemies. He's made enemies.
Oh yeah. Thomas Fisher's made a lot of enemies out here. A couple of other drivers have made some not friendly friends. And I think there's some drivers that might have came in, like Madigan, who got fresh rubber, but I don't see him winning this race either after some of the moves that he's made so far. I think some guys might be thinking, hey, there's been some great moves made, but I don't know. It's going to get mixy here.
Rob Sherwood currently on racetrack in 13th. What do you think we're going to see with overtime, brother?
I think we are going to see probably full 3 attempts at a green, white checkered, if I'm being honest. It's about to get real dicey.
I believe you're right. Knoxville took 4 and you know, but 3's the limit for us. But I really believe the same thing. Josh Altus, what's your take of your car, buddy, after your incident? No caution flag.
Wesley, I ran out of talent. I was right where I wanted to be, and I got real loose. I was trying not to mirror drive, and I knew Ross was fast. I got loose. I gave up the lead, and then I think I was just trying to push it a little extra hard, trying to get it back after the first mistake and loop myself around. So,
well, I'm going to let you go. We got to let you go. But do you think do you agree with Rob's assessment? We're going to have probably a 3 shootout for the finish?
Oh, yeah, it's going to get ugly here. So hang on.
All right. Hang on. You guys hang on as well. There you go. That's Joshua Altus and Rob Sherwood. And we are ready for attempt number 1. All right, now here's the rules. Just like they apply in real racing. Leader takes the green flag. White flag, race is official. If they take the caution before the white, they re-rack them, restack them, and they'll go again. Third attempt, caution or checker will end the race if they cannot complete the third stage. Overtime in the All-Star race. Would you have it any other way? Samuel Dyer, they're back to green in turn 1. Trouble, it's Altus, sideways at 94 off 2.
And he's going to be collecting some other drivers. No caution waves. Thomas Fisher involved. We stay green. Ross Tatum coming out of turn number 4. We might see that white flag.
The CRN, 1 to go for the All-Star race. Who's it going to be? Put your money on the line. 1 to go for Ross the Boss Tatum in turn 1 for the final time.
Hey, points aren't on the line, but money is. Braxton DeWeese, is he going to use the chrome horn? If he's going to do it, he's got to do it on entering turn number 3 as Thomas Fisher just sits down below. That is a risky place to be sitting. Here comes that Braxton DeWeese.
He gives him the chrome. He gives him the bumper. He pushes Tatum out of the way. Big money in Music City. Here, car spinning down below the Brayton. Into the grass is born, and Braxton DeWeese will win the All-Star race. Are you kidding me? What a wild shootout, and Tatum takes his aggression out on Braxton DeWeese and crashes him in turn 1 and 2.
Oh, shades of how victory lane's going to look like later tonight, but drivers piling in hot timbers, and it is going to be a long night on drivers complaining about I should have won, but the driver that got it done, they talked about it all night, all week. Who was going to use the chrome horn to win this thing? It's Braxton DeWeese.
Braxton DeWeese, I think that's worth one more shot of the replay at the finish. Watch him one more time going down into that third turn. He literally, okay, we can't get the replay, but anyhow, you saw it here in real time, down into that third turn, pushing Ross Tatum out of the way, the bump and run, if you will. Shades of what NASCAR has seen several times at Bristol or Martinsville, and Samuel, he used it here tonight with the SNB All-Star race, and Braxton DeWeese, the all-time winner, can now make it his 11th career win, 10 points wins, now an All-Star race winner, the defending champion, continuing his quest for a double championship, 2 years in a row repeat for the driver, the number 8.
Yeah, no, it's even crazier than that. He won the All-Star race last year. He is the back-to-back All-Star winner. We'll see if he can back-to-back championship winner. As here's your final results. It's going to be Braxton DeWeese, Ross Tatum, Kevin Martin, your top 3, with Kanan Massey, as well as that of Madigan going to be in 5th place, Matt Dyer 6th, Christian Gardner 7th, Robert Sherwood going to be in 8th place, Logan Breaking 9th, Tom Bourne, he was 2nd coming out turn 4, but back to 10th.
Yeah, what a crazy finish that was. And the rest of the rundown includes Joshua Albrock and Packard, Evan Coleman, Chris Smith, Caleb Smith, Thomas Fisher. 2 laps down. The man that could have been, you would have thought, being the winner is, again, all the way in the last position in 16th. We are going to talk to our top 3. We've got to be quick. We got to wrap it up. We got another broadcast coming up with dirt trucks at Knoxville, all on the way. Coverage of a wild one here at Nashville in the Music City. It's iRacing, baby. It's the SNB Cup Series, and Braxton DeWeese, a 2-time All-Star race winner. We will talk to him and the others in a moment. Welcome back to coverage of the SNB Cup Series All-Star Race presented by the Blitz Racing Network on LSRTV. What a wild one on driver analyst Josh Waltis and Rob Sherwood. Of course, in production, as always, Charles Boot 9, Wesley Outland, Samuel Dyer alongside. And one for the ages. A two-time winner now. Braxton DeWeese, the last year's Point Series champion, now making 11 wins. And, of course, one or two of those 10, now 11. 9 of the 11 are all-star race wins. Even though it's non-points, it's still a win. We will talk to him in a moment. But first, we'll grab third place. Man, oh, man, Kevin Martin, this has got to be like a win for you, buddy, on the podium. What an all-star race here at Nashville. Your take of it.
Yeah, it was good. Hopefully it gives me some momentum for the next half of the season. I need all the points I can get to get into the playoffs, because after last race wasn't really that good, but this race it was eventful, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, Kevin, you've shown that you've got pace during the practice races and during practice time. What do you think that you need to do to try to carry that momentum over to race day?
Just be consistent, no mistakes. I just kind of beat myself up on mistakes. I gotta just run all the laps, go on pit road, don't speed, and just run all the laps pretty much.
Special time for sure. We gotta get off the air quickly. We've been on the air for a while now. Kevin, before we do, thank your sponsors, bud. Third place tonight on the podium.
Yeah, I'd like to thank Appalachian Holler Hunters, Bone Collector, and I guess that's about it. I wasn't really expecting to do this.
Kevin Martin, third place here tonight. He wasn't expecting it here at the All-Star Race, but bottom line is he gets third. A wild one here, and he is on the podium. Runner-up, Ross Tatum, number 21. Boy, oh boy. I saw the aggression. You turned him going back on the cool-down lap in turn one. Was that just you celebrating, hey, congratulations, or was that, man, I don't like the way I got done here? You're taking a finish.
Oh, that was just a big old congratulations. No, I'm just kidding. That's 2 races and 2 seasons. Actually, more than that. Probably hits me about every other race. So it's cool. We got a long season. There's a championship coming up, and we'll just race it out from there. But, it's usually 1 on 3. He's got 3 teammates to surround him all the time. Actually, it's like 6 of them. So we'll just go the rest of the season, and we'll just, what comes around goes around.
Can we elaborate more? And Samuel, take over on that next question. What was your take of what went on the last lap?
I mean, he wasn't going to make the corner. It was just a straight up run over. I've gone 2 seasons. I don't think I've wrecked anybody in 2 seasons. So it's a little frustrating to constantly be hit. I think the admins do a great job in this league, but I feel like sometimes some people get away with stuff that maybe they shouldn't. But it's not a big deal. It's just a game. $165 isn't nothing to me. So it's a lot to him. I guess he can go to whatever community college he wants to go to. So that's good for him. And that's about it. I mean, just excited to continue the rest of the season, and I'll do the same to him.
Yeah, I mean, Ross, you showed a lot of speed here tonight. Does that give you a lot of really momentum to try to carry forward in the fact that you have been on a roll here recently of showing that you've got the speed and probably one of the favorites to come out and win a championship?
Yeah, it feels good. We definitely had a lot of speed. I wish we ran these cars every week, actually take some throttle control. They're a lot of fun. I'm glad the admins let us race these cars tonight, and I think we'll be hard to beat the rest of the season. I don't even know what tracks are coming up. I'm probably not going to do very well at Sonoma. I think that's next, but I'm just looking forward to the rest of the season, and it's going to be a good one.
Ross, thank your sponsors, buddy. Thanks for running with us tonight. Second place.
Yeah, I got to thank Coca-Cola, Body Armor, Monster, you guys. Awesome broadcast. Love going back and watching. I don't know if I loved watching this one, but most of them are pretty good. And then I got to thank the league. I got to thank Appalachian Holler Hunters for sponsoring the league, and just everybody. It's a fun league, despite the frustration. So I'm just looking forward to the rest of the season.
All right, there's Ross the Boss Tatum. He'll settle for the bridesmaid spot, number 2 and a little frustrated there with the outcome of the finish. But it's the All-Star race, and he will go for second. Now back to a quest for championship. Victory Lane, defending winner, this year's winner, High Five Racing number 8 out of Miamisburg, Ohio. What a job, Braxton DeWeese. And you heard what Ross Tatum had to say. What's your take of everything, buddy? Congratulations on the All-Star race win.
All I can do is laugh about it. I mean, if I'm in that situation going in the league going in turn 3 and I see that and it's All-Star race for $165, I mean, I got to see it happening. And if that happens, then it is what it is. I mean, you race for $165. Like he said, I was going to community college. I would like to correct him on that. I'm going to NASCAR Technical Institute. So I'd like to get all the money I can for that. So, I mean, if he wants to, he can look that up and all the expenses for that. But I mean,
go ahead, buddy.
Like I said, it is what it is. If he would have done that to me, it is what it is. Like I said, I mean, you got to see that coming. It's All-Star race. I mean, I wouldn't do that
How did you feel him turning you in turn 1 on the checkered flag lap?
Y'all can have your opinion about that. If it was real life, he probably would have killed me. So, I mean, y'all saw how butthurt he was. He said $165 wasn't a lot to him, so I'll take that away from him. I guess he doesn't deserve that as well. If he doesn't think that's enough for him, so I'll be glad to take that from him. Yeah, it's racing. Wouldn't do that in a regular race. I mean, y'all know. I've heard you guys say it. I've cleaned up from first season of Adrenaline. That was pretty. It was a little rough, but I've cleaned up and really worked on my racing. And I don't like wrecking people, but when it comes down to $165 and it's a non-points paying race, you know damn well I'm gonna try to do everything I can to get that.
I mean, Braxton. Yeah, Braxton, you could say you wouldn't do it in an actual points race, but we've seen you do it before. I wouldn't be surprised if you did it again. I will gotta say, though, you have been on a streak of wins here in this league. Do you feel like you're the favorite going into playoff time?
Well, I don't really find myself as a favorite with the playoffs. I just got to run consistent and keep doing what I'm doing. But if you guys think I'm the favorite, that's cool. But just try to keep doing what I'm doing.
Wow, interesting. Hey, repeat winner of the All-Star race. What do you think about that?
That's great. I love trying to earn money as much as I can, you know. Money's great, so.
All right, bud. Well, before we let you go, thank your sponsors and congratulations to you. We'll see you at the next one.
Yeah, I want to thank CD Cinematography, Zimmer Concrete, Ron's Pizza, Ben's Publical, Ravenwood Enterprise, Scott Martin, Jeff Schmidt, NASCAR Technical Institute, Blaze Designs. I want to thank you guys. I want to thank High Five. I want to thank the whole Rapid Response and whole community over there. And I want to thank everybody who tunes in and supports me. Sorry if you guys didn't like me turning them there, but you just got to put it in your shoes what you do for $165.
Hey, last lap, all bets are off for sure. And I know Josh Waltus and Rob Sherwood set the stage talking about that for sure, and it lived up to its billing. Braxton DeWeese, 2-time winner of the All-Star race of the SNB Cup Series, and now he begins a quest to be a repeat champion as well. He wins tonight at Nashville. Samuel Dyer, your final thoughts on what has been a wild All-Star race we will not forget.
Yeah, it was a long one. We might have had to try a bunch of different ways to finish out this race, but it came down to a 35-lap shootout that went into overtime, a total of 37 laps. And Braxton DeWeese, like he said, money was on the line. It wasn't for points. Do whatever you needed to do, and just like how everyone's been talking about, someone was going to wreck someone else for the win, and it was Braxton taking out that of Tatum. I'm excited to see how these guys do next week. Road course racing at Sonoma. That is going to be a long race as well.
Left turns, right turns, carousels, chicanes, and more in the state of California, where our colleague Samuel Dyer is from. Samuel, I will be back, as well as Greg Rentz, coming up tonight, 11:30, just about 45 minutes from right now. The next round of the Northwest iRacing Truck Series presented by Tom Denchel Automotive Group, and it's on the dirt. It's a fun time when we do it on the dirt at Knoxville. We will have it for you on LSRTV as well as on CRN Sports for the radio network coverage, and we are CRN.com. For Rocket Media LLC, for Jeff Stabnow, for producer Charles Wooten, for our driver analysts, including Joshua Altus and Rob Sherwood, for Samuel Dyer, I'm Wesley Outland. All-Star Wednesday night goes to Braxton Deweese. God bless you all. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you in a half hour for coverage of the trucks from Knoxville.